Okay, so unfortunately, we will not be having class tomorrow because there is some scheduled electrical maintenance. The concerned person informed me today afternoon only. Earlier, he gave me the time, but then he said that he could not remember that there was some scheduled electric maintenance that is there. And afternoon, all of you know that Wajiram is closed only. So we will not be having the class tomorrow. Any doubt from the yesterday class? Any doubt? No doubt, or you did not even revise? No doubt. Okay, nice. Learn everything that is good from others, but bring it in your own way to observe. Do not become others. Yes, that example of social influence. One of the example of social influence. Yes, Divya, it is right. Okay, so I think yesterday we discussed some important aspect of attitude, that is basically structure and function of the attitude. That is more or less, I would say, academic part of the concept, may not be directly asked by the UPSC, but then we also learned about moral attitude and political attitude, and that is important, especially in the context of political attitude, that what are the factors that shape our political attitude, and essentially the attitude of youth towards politics. That is very, very important. We also discussed that when we are talking about politics, we should talk about voting only? No. So we should talk about the voting pattern behavior, the behavior of political parties, various stakeholders groups that are there. So, all in all, that will comprise politics. So basically, whenever you are writing answer on politics, your answer should be broad enough. It should have that many dimensions when you are writing answer, and you should not just limit your answer to voting only. That is what you need to understand. Okay, so we also discussed various type of political attitude that are there, right? Rightist attitude, leftist attitude, and everything. After that, we discussed social influence. Then that actually means that how we are shaping our attitude and our behavior. Yes, outside influence that is there, and it may be intentional, it may not be intentional. Okay, and we also discussed that larger is the group size, more cohesive is the group behavior. That influences our action more. Understood? So that is what we have understood so far, and we also understood one very important concept, that is cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance is basically the contrasting attitude that you have towards different thing, or basically an attitude that is inherently inconsistent. Basically, your behavior is different than your attitude, and so on and so forth. So it will create a feeling of mental discomfort, and that is what we call cognitive dissonance. That also plays a great role when you are writing your case studies, because if you are not following the kind of character you are having, then you will have cognitive dissonance. Understood or not? Yes. So this is what we have studied so far. So now let us talk about a very important theme, that is persuasion, because this is where UPSC will be forming the question that how, as an administrator, you will be actually persuading people, with respect to any social evil or any attitude. Persuasion. Okay, so what is persuasion? So in persuasion, whatever we are doing is actually intentional, that is the major difference that is there. In social influence, we are often influenced even when the person who is influencing us, may not know us, and that may not be intentional. For example, someone is behaving like himself only, and still we like that person so much that we are influenced by his behavior. So he's not intentionally doing that thing just to influence us. He's just being himself, and we are influenced by that. Understood? So, but in persuasion, it is a special case of social influence in which we are saying that it is intentional. So basically, we are actually making intentional effort to change someone's attitude. That is what is more important. Understood or not? Yes. So now let us see what are the different techniques of persuasion, how exactly we can change people's attitude, with respect to something. So let us learn about those techniques, and one of the very prominent technique is social proofing. Because people, they tend to follow others. They don't to follow others. They tend to look for the proofs in their society that if we are, doing that, then whether someone else has taken that road or not. For example, if you have enrolled for this program, then perhaps you might have spoken to your friends, or some other testimonial you might have got yourself into. So basically, we tend to believe that if we are following something, that it should have some sort of social proof. You talk about this, when PM launched PM Care Fund. So he talked about that people from all walks of life have contributed to PM Cares. They have given their hard-earned money to sharpen the fight against COVID-19. And then he thanked Badshah, and Guru official, I think it's Guru Randhawa only. So basically, then he thanked so many people. So basically, this is a way to influence people, to persuade people that you are not alone if you are donating for PM Care Fund. People have donated elsewhere also, and they are also very prominent people. They are also donating their hard-earned money. So it is not actually difficult, and you can also do it. So that is the example. Then you talk about Give It Up campaign, in which we were encouraged that we should give it up our LPG subsidy. In which we were encouraged that we should give it up our LPG subsidy. So in that message also, thank you 1 crore citizens who have voluntarily given up their LPG subsidy. So basically, again, this is an example of social proofing, in which government is telling us that look, there are other people also that have followed the same path, and if you believe that you are the only one, that is not the case. And that should convince so many people that yes, that is the path we should take. Yes, understood or not? So that is what social proofing is all about. In the context of, let's say, fighting patriarchy, the elderly people, the case study was there that they might believe that the women, they are taking up the jobs of men. The case study was there, and they're not my words. Okay, so case study was there, in which that is what elderly people believed, that the women, if you educate them, they will be taking the jobs of men only. So you can convince them that women are not just job seeker, they are job creators also. And it is not the case that they are only taking up the job. There are jobs, basically jobs are abundant, and in that context, that it is actually about skill. It is more about skill and skill mismatch. So basically, it is not just about job, getting the job at a company, it is also about creating job also, by doing a startup. We talk about the founder of Nykaa and so many great entrepreneurs that are there. So basically, social proofing, you can give an example in your case study that look, this is what other people have also done, and that is why we should also do the same only. Understood or not? And to effectively use that technique, people seek, approval from the credible experts in the relevant field. Okay. For example, you talk about IPCC, when it is trying to persuade us that we should not, increase our greenhouse gas emission, something like that. So basically, that is what we should do. That is how they are using their expertise to convince us that look, we have done so much of modeling, and because of the scientific research, now the doomsday is really here, and that is why we should change our behavior. So at times government also take this fact that they ask celebrities to endorse their programs. You talk about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, talk about various programs that are there, and there are celebrities who are actually endorsing those programs. Then at times people would like to know the peer review. Many of you have enrolled into the program because your friends have referred you. So basically, peer review, it matters a lot. So that is what you actually look at: peer review, peer rating. When you actually buy something on Amazon or Flipkart, you also see the ratings. The ratings of the fellow consumers, that what is their feedback with respect to that particular product. So basically, that is nothing but social proofing only, that what other people are saying when they are using your product. Understood or not? Please note it, then we will talk about other technique. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to note so many things together. Done? Done? अच्छा, आप रह गए? Conflict of interest we will discuss later, Divya.
So there should also be proof for that when the PM is saying 1 crore citizens have given up the subsidy. So there should also be proof for the statement is enough.
That depends upon the credibility of the source. If PM is saying, we have to believe him. If I say that 1 crore people have subscribed to this course, then perhaps you will not believe me. So it depends upon the credibility of the source, of course. If I am saying that this and this topper has said this thing about me, then you will not believe me until and unless I show you the proof. People did not even believe that I gave the treat to students after selection. They did not even believe that. What are you talking about? That is the credibility I am having, in their eyes. I don't know why they are even studying then. In the context that they might be questioning that also, that whatever I am teaching, it is right or not. I was joking, okay, don't take this to your heart. He is wearing mask now, and Sohani will discuss that later. Understood? So that is what this social proofing is all about. It is very, very important. You actually want to have proof. It is not just UPSC will never ask. They talk about techniques of persuasion. It will only say that persuade this group of people for this thing, and then you have to use these methods. Just like you need to convince people to study and so on and so forth. Can you once again explain difference between social influence and personal influence? I did not get your question. Persuasion, I think you are telling. Social influence is basically a broader category. It is broader category in which both the things involved that you are changing the attitude. But in social influence, it is a broader category in which it may or may not be intentional. Okay, if there are people, or the TikTok stars that are there, or the Bollywood celebrities, and they are doing something to influence you. So when they are doing it very much intentionally, it is a case of persuasion only. But when they are simply doing it because they are behaving like that only, they do not have any such intention, but you are getting influenced by them, then it is a case of influence only. Okay, so social influence is a broader category and persuasion is one aspect of it, and that is actually when influence becomes intentional. That is actually persuasion. Understood, Udit? Two Udits are there, Udit Tomar and Udit Sharma. Please note it. Okay, now I am not in front of screen. Please note it. Where is Vishesh? Is he here? बाकी लोग क्यों नहीं भाई ऑन करके रख रहे कैमरा? Okay, understood? Okay. Another important technique is default rule. Default rule. You talk about how many of you know TDS? What is TDS? How many of you know it? Okay, so TDS is basically when your employer pays you something, then he deducts some money at the source only. Yes, basically, let's say if you are supposed to get 1 lakh of rupees, and let's say the TDS is 10%, then you will be given only 90,000 of rupees, and 10,000 will be deposited against your PAN number. Yes, which later when you file the your income tax return, you can claim it. You can settle it with respect to your tax claim. If suppose you are not having any tax liability, that money will be refunded to you. If you are having liability, then the difference you have to pay. Understood or not? So basically, that is the way of government to introduce that by default there has to be tax deduction at source only, so that people file their ITR. Understood or not? So that they should file their ITR. So that is the default rule that people are applying, because usually, people will not be, willing to file ITR otherwise. Okay, so that is what government has adopted, that whenever you are getting salary or some beyond a, of course, threshold, if you are paying someone 10,000 rupees, of course, you cannot cut the TDS for that. Of course, after a threshold, if the money crosses that threshold, then TDS will be deducted whenever your employer is paying you. Understood or not? So that is basically default rule, basically to nudge you so that you file your income tax return. Understood or not? In your internet also, whenever you install your any internet browser or anything like that, often the pop-up will come that make Google Chrome as your default browser, make Firefox as your default browser, and offer whatever default browser is there. Often we don't change it. Yes, it will be there. It will be there because that is the human nature. We are status quoist at the heart. So basically, we don't believe to change things. So government basically focuses on making things default by itself. That it will make it default. That is what you need to do. There is this beautiful case study that is here in Austria. Usually if you ask people that will you be willing to play the role of organ donor? Not now when you are alive. Of course, when you are dead, then perhaps you can donate your various important organs to someone who may actually be in need. Yes, so many people actually sign that will, that yes, we will be donating our organs and something like that. So the government in Austria, this very great case study that is there. So government adopted this method in which what it did, that it by default everyone was considered that he is willing to donate the organ after the death. After the death. And if you have to opt out, then you need to make effort to opt out from the program. Of course, it was voluntary only, but the default was that you are organ donor other than you are not organ donor. And it actually naturally, it increased the number of people, who enrolled for being the organ donor. Okay. So in Austria, it's a very beautiful case study that is there. Similarly, you talk about in Afghanistan, an intervention that found that defaulting employees into automatic saving was more effective than 50% employer saving match. So basically, usually, just like Provident Fund and so many things are there for the security of the employees, that employer need to contribute, so that there is saving on the part of employee. So rather than employer, matching it, if you make the default that perhaps you are taking, let's say, 10,000 rupees home, then you have to save a certain percentage of that money, then that actually led to the increase of saving rate on the part of employee. So basically, if you make it default, there are more chances that it will be followed than if you are not making it default, then if you are giving people the real choice that yes, that it is up to you whether you want to do it or not. In that case, most likely they will not do it. Yes, because people are status in nature. Understood or not? Yes. So that is what leveraging the default rule is all about. That you will be making the policies. By default, you will want people to do something. That is what you need to do. Leveraging the default rule. Understood or not? Understood. Similarly, another thing is scarcity complex. Because there is a human tendency that if you are not getting something, you perceive the loss more than the gain that you will actually get when you get that thing. Understood or not? For example, let's say one piece of t-shirt is there, Myntra, it will say only one piece is left or one item is left. Often they will show that. The purpose is so as to make you believe that it is very much scarce, and people have this scarcity complex that if they somehow miss on that one piece that they are actually eyeing on for so long period of time, that it is out of stock now, the loss that they will feel is actually greater than the joy they will feel when they actually get that particular piece. That is human psychology. Are you able to understand what I am saying? दोबारा से repeat करें. Okay, suppose, yes, okay. So suppose one item is left, usually the website shows that one item is left, and suppose you are not able to buy that item in time, it is out of stock. So the feel that you will have, that, that something you have lost, that feeling will be greater than the amount of pleasure you will get, when you actually get that item. It is human tendency to feel the loss more than the gain, and that is why scarcity complex. That is why people are told that only these many seats are remaining, these many items are remaining, so as to make them hurry, that they should make their decision fast, so as to change your attitude. Understood or not? I will give you one example. This was not exactly in the context of scarcity complex per se, but it was rather the scarcity on my bandwidth. So I think 2 years or 3 years back, I was in 2 years back. The story is about 2 years back. I was in Jaipur. I had founded one institute, and in that institute, I used to run this core batch, between prelims and mains, in which I will be taking care of only 60 to 70 people. That was the bandwidth I was having. And of course, I think within few days it was full only. And then we got many requests for the enrollment, but then I did not entertain any of them because I was full on my bandwidth, that this is what only I will do. And there was one person, who will keep on calling my counselor that please, make me talk to Piyush sir, and I want to enroll. And we were very much clear that we will not enroll anyone now because that is a bandwidth that we can cater actually. And he was hell-bent actually. He sent so many mails, I remember. I think it was 30 days before the mains also he was sending me mails, even 30 to 40 days before the mains. And I was like, that person is really, really determined. And then I told my counselor, okay, let me speak to him. And then I told him that it is already quite late. I don't know how will you be able to implement the program and everything. He said, sir, I will give you the rank. That is the confidence he was having. Sir, I will give you the rank. You remember, आप imagine करिए कोई बच्चा आपको phone पे ऐसे बोल रहा है, sir, I will give you the rank. And that is what I hear from so many people. But he was very adamant about it. That, sir, please enroll me into this. And that year he only got interview, I think. He did not get the rank. But next year he got the rank. I think 239. Arnab Bhandari is the name. I don't remember his rank. 239 or 235, something like that. So that person is Arnab Bhandari, and he has got rank this year, IPS officer this time. So he was very adamant about what he was doing, So that is the attitude some people have. So it was not actually the scarcity complex, it was actually the scarcity of my capacity at that point of time with respect to managing people. But basically, scarcity complex is how we change attitude, or any organization or different tactics that are there that are used to change the attitude. So that is what you can also adopt, the scarcity complex. eSummit has only 100 seats left, something like that. Understood or not? Yes? Then you talk about reciprocity, the moral debt. The moral debt. How many of you have traveled into any roadways buses? Okay. So if you have traveled into roadways buses, you would have found people, who would come and sell you something. They will I think advertise about one particular churan, one particular oil, that it will help you in making your headache go and something like that. And at times, they will apply it without even you asking for it. They will just simply take the oil and massage over your head. And at times you also see that at your red light, the traffic signal that is there, people come and they start cleaning your car and everything so that you give them something. So basically it is actually they are creating a sense of reciprocity in you, that since we are helping you without you asking us for that, and that is why they create a sense of moral debt. And then you feel like, ठीक है यार, 15 रुपए का ही तो है, खरीद लेते हैं. Yes, that it is only 5 to 20, 30 rupees only, that we can buy that. Actually. So that is what, you feel like that. You are in moral debt now, and then you feel like giving it back. Understood or not? You talk about this particular company, for quite some time it gave free internet only. And people were like, we should buy this SIM also. Yes. So basically, open mocks. I'll give you an example of open mocks. That open mocks are there. Various coaching institutes conduct open mocks. And when they conduct open mocks, one of the ways that people get to, sense of moral debt, if they can create that, something like that. So basically, reciprocity is about, you are able to build the trust and relationship with the customer, and एड भी तो आता है सर, जब कार वॉश करता है तो उसे जॉब देता है बिल्डिंग की क्लीनिंग की, रजनीगंधा वाला. I don't know. I'm not aware of this ad. So basically, that is what reciprocity is all about. Okay, that you are creating a moral debt in the mind of people. You are doing something yourself first. And various district magistrate and SP, they use that very effectively. They will go at the grassroots level and do something that is not expected of them. You talk about this MDM, midday meal. The DM himself went there and ate the midday meal prepared by the Dalit cook. He said alongside the students. So it created a sense of moral debt in the teachers and everyone around them, that someone from such higher authority has come to our place and he himself is doing that. Who are we that, we are countering things like that. We are being so much of orthodox. So basically, that is what reciprocity, it actually helps a lot, because the moral debt, if you create, it actually helps you in the long run. So recently, one student, I was so emotional. I posted that on my Telegram also. I think they got their salary, the first salary they got when he has become IPS officer, and he sent me some money because he had my number. And I think at 11:30 p.m. or 12 p.m. at night only, I got this message from where this money has come, and then the message was there. And I am telling you, I was very emotional, because this is the first time a student, it is not the case, so many people have qualified, but it is actually, people, when they become officers, then things are different, definitely things are different, and because, they have their own world and their life, everything changes actually. But to remember and then, to actually, a gesture like this, it actually touches heart, and that actually reminds me of the kind of responsibility I also have towards you, that because, that is perhaps, what I played some part in terms of that gesture. So I was really touched by that gesture. When this accident happened, I remember I got so many calls from my students only, so many calls. The Veer Pratap Singh, I think I mentioned about him, 2018 batch IAS officer. He also called me and said, sir, this happened and that happened. So I'm telling you that at times you build the relationship that lasts long, even though you have met for very, for a very brief period. But the relationship that is there, it lasts long, and it just goes on and on. So I was really touched by that. एक शेयर है उसके लिए, मतलब उस gesture के लिए, I will tell you that. Okay. someone is asking how much, sir. It does not matter how much. No, the fact he sent the money, it matters a lot to me. Okay, does not matter. हाँ? पहले का ड्यू नहीं था. Actually ड्यू होता भी है, ऐसी बात नहीं है. Some people who are not able to play, I pay for them. So it is. अब मैंने बता दिया है तो उसका misuse मत करना, of course. Okay, so ऐसा होता है, but वो ड्यू नहीं था, you know. It was very. His father, I think, is in police only. Some SI or I don't remember, but in police only. His father is police only. So actually, that value is that gesture speaks more about himself than it speaks about me actually. Okay, because it was really a great gesture, you know. So it speaks a lot. So हम मिलते हैं 3-4 दिनों के लिए. सुनाया मैंने आपको? नहीं सुनाया. 4 दिन वाला नहीं सुनाया. So usually our course it lasts for very for a very brief duration, and after that we part ways because you also get busy with some other subjects and life goes on. And I also there are other batches also. So similarly, so the share goes like that मोहब्बत रही जिंदगी में 4 दिन, because for a very brief period of time we meet. मोहब्बत रही जिंदगी में 4 दिन, रहा 4 दिन का असर जिंदगी भर. So at times जो impact होता है इस relationship का वो lifelong होता है. Some of the relationship I am having with the students, it is actually lifelong. So that is what I have earned actually, and that is what I look forward to in those batches. That we are able to forge that relationship. One student, I think, he messaged me this year. He has become my officer from that thing only. Okay, so reciprocity. Reciprocity is something that you create the moral debt, and you create the moral. All of you are very poor listener actually in terms of shero shairi. Okay, so ठीक है. So reciprocity is something that you create the moral debt, and it actually helps you in changing the attitude. Understood or not? Another important aspect is attention and clear messaging. That the way you are communicating the message itself, it becomes very much clear. It is so powerful that it is changing the attitude of the people. That people are, it is grasping the attention of the people, and then people are actually changing the attitude. You talk about Do Boond Zindagi Ki, So basically this campaign for polio, it was equating the 2 drops of vaccine with the life. That Do Boond Zindagi Ki, agar ye 2 boond nahi li to zindagi kharab ho sakti hai, something like that. So basically that is how powerful messages were conveyed, with the use of celebrity like Amitabh Bachchan. Similarly, you talk about give it up, feel the joy of giving. So messaging is very much clear, messaging is very clear that this is what they want to communicate. Similarly, you talk about this, this tobacco, so we have seen that the pictorial warning, the percentage has increased, anything. So that is basically the messaging is very much clear that you can also experience that. So that is a way to persuade you. You talk about the messaging, the name of the program, Poshan Abhiyan. Through the name itself, it is very much clear that the nutrition will be there. Then PM Mudra Yojana. Mudra basically means, something that related with finance only. So basically Jan Dhan Yojana, Namami Gange. So basically all these programs, the messaging and targeting is very much clear that this is what that we intend to do, and that is how we will be using this program to change the attitude. Understood or not? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Yes, Swachhata hi Seva. So all these things, cleanliness is the service. So all these words, all these messaging was very much directed with respect to changing of attitude only. Understood or not? And that is what techniques of persuasion is all about when we are talking about attention and clear messaging. You can also use that when you are changing the attitude in your district, when you are SP or district. The my farm, my garden, I think. My school, my farm. So that message was very much clear that in school we will be cultivating our farm, that will be taking care of our nutritional needs. Yes, so that initiative by Shashankala Allah, I think, So she was able to implement that using that slogan that my school, my farm basically is that in my school only I will be getting my nutritional needs fulfilled. Understood or not? So basically that is the purpose of messaging, that it makes it very much clear to the audience that what is the objective of this communication or this program. So that is how it helps in changing the attitude. Then at times, we do not, we may not believe in the message, but we believe in the messenger, the person who is communicating the message. So people who are buying the product of Patanjali, they are believing in Baba Ramdev more than the product itself, for good reason or bad reason, that is. But they are believing in Baba Ramdev more than the product itself. So basically, when they are buying the product, it is mostly about that they are liking the messenger than the message. When they are buying, when they are buying this boost, when Sanjay Sankar used to endorse this particular brand, they are buying it for Sachin Tendulkar. They may not be interested in the product itself, but they are doing it for their ambassador, their celebrity. You talk about in various child rights campaign are there, and often, Kailash Satyarthi, he's made ambassador of that. So it is because of that only, because he carries a certain credibility in that domain of child rights, and that is why he used as brand ambassador to convey the same message. So people then follow the messenger than the message, because they are in so love with the messenger. They identify more with the messenger than the message, that they start following the message also. Understood or not? All these religious Babas, the people are, when they are following them, so they are actually following them for the messenger, not for the message. Understood or not? So that is what we can learn, and that is what, when you are district magistrate or something like that, then you can employ them with respect to changing the attitude also. Local celebrities, folk artists, you can employ them. Local brand ambassador, all these people who local religious leaders, so you can involve them. And that is why you see whenever there is a communal rights or some situation like that in the area, you will see peace committee meeting. So this peace committee meeting, the people from different walks of life, the famous people, the religious leaders, they are invited in that meeting, because so that they can communicate the right message of peace to the audience, because people believe in them. They may not believe in the administration, but they may believe in those leaders. Understood or not? So basically, messenger, so that is what we can use when we are using them in our case study. Understood or not? Yes? So more important thing is that how we will use that in our case study. Don't worry, I will give you a case study in which we will be changing the attitude of the people, and then we will learn all these toolkits, together only. I will give you all the important keywords, but here we need to understand. Then similarly, public commitment, that people are asked to commit, publicly, so that if they don't follow it, then they will be bad reputation. You talk about International Yoga Day, all sort of yoga pledges are there. So basically, when you take a public commitment and if you don't follow it, then out of not getting embarrassed for not following it, you actually change your attitude. Understood or not? So basically, that is what public commitment is all about. We talk about all these pledges. So when these people are, they are taking their pledges for, let's say anything that, let's say I will not eat more than 2 chocolate, for example. Okay, then suppose this girl, she's eating, let's say 5 chocolate, then other people will get to know and, make fun of her. So basically, to avoid that kind of embarrassment, they would like to change the attitude or perhaps conceal what they are doing. Okay, so that is how public commitment works. That you don't want yourself, you want to maintain the trustworthiness and the reputation in the public. Understood or not? You talk about this mirror on the wall. This campaign was there on public in Bangalore. Very beautiful campaign. In this, they installed the mirror, the areas which were more prone for the, that people were urinating on that wall. So they installed the mirror at that place, that now you do it. Okay, so basically it is like that you need to see what you are doing when you are doing it. You have to have some sort of self-respect when you are doing it. So they installed mirrors, a very, very beautiful campaign to deter public urination in Bangalore. Okay, so mirror on the wall. So basically it is testing your public appearance, that how you want to appear in the public. And basically it is testing your own image in public. When you are doing it, then perhaps subconsciously you should question yourself. Understood? So it is a very beautiful campaign, and that is why I have included it here. Public commitment. Understood or not? I don't know. I did not go there. It is one of the you need to understand there are 2 things that are there. That is what you need to understand. When you are here to in this classroom, when you are studying, you are here to do what? What is your study? No, study is okay. Ultimately, you are here to get marks. Okay, so when you write these case studies, you will get marks. Whether it is working now or not, I have not gone there. Okay, but it is one of.
Campaign is not working, then we like if it is not working, it
Yes, it's a brilliant question. And if it was not working, I doubt that I would get a chance. How else? No, you imagine how would I encounter this case study? Imagine. Uh, so if it is mentioned somewhere, then it must be working. That is why it was. That is why it is mentioned. Otherwise, why I will come across this particular article? You tell me. I am living in Delhi. I am not in Bangalore. That I just took this photo of myself. Maybe it is me only who is standing there. So basically, it is not the case. I am sure. Yes. So actually, this picture is taken from one of the best case studies. You know, the handbook is there, and from there I have taken this particular picture. So if they have included that as part of best case study practices in the context of sanitation, then I would like to believe that, and perhaps it is working. But if it is not working, then I don't know. I mean, what more can I do? I cannot verify each and every example that I will go to. You Google it then, I don't know. For all that matter, now this person will ask, the person with mask, whether, sir, my farm, my school, my farm is working or not, whether they are still cultivating some fruits and vegetable or not. I don't know, man. Understood or not? So basically, that is what we are, when we are reading good case studies, that is what we can assume. There is some attitude, right? I gave you the example of attitude, that one of the example of attitude is knowledge, that you need not evaluate everything, So one of the attitude that we need to have is when we are reading all these famous case studies, usually I'm saying, of course, all of us should have critical perspective. But then if we go about checking each and every example, then it will become very difficult actually to study also. So I have taken it from the ministry handbook only. So I'm relying on their honesty for that matter. Okay, this is there in ministry handbook with respect to changing of attitude with respect to sanitation. So they have compiled a list of best practices, and from there I have taken it. This is the screenshot only, I think. Understood? Okay. So another technique is priming. Another technique is priming. How many of you understand this keyword, priming? What is it? Yes, very good. So pump priming is there. Whenever there is, this is a mechanical engineering term that is the pump priming. Whenever there is not water, the hand pump, it is not giving you water, something like that is not working. Then what do you do? What do you do? You give some water first. Yes, and then you start the hand pump, and then it will start giving you water. So it is called pump priming. That word priming, it is that. So priming is basically that you are getting exposure so that you are testing that. It is stimulating your experiences so that you want more and more such type of experience. So that is why, you would say the first order is free or first movie is free. You buy this credit card and first transaction is free, something like that. So all such examples are of priming only. They are asking you that you please test it and then perhaps you will like it. They believe in that. They don't know that you have many such offers and then you will decide otherwise. But that is what they will do. When Ola, Uber came initially, they gave so many discounts. Yes, so many priming was done just to make customers accustomed to the practice of hiring taxis based on the mobile apps. Understood or not? So that is what priming is all about. Understood? Understood? डाउट मैं बाद में देखूंगा. आप अगर आप टाइप भी कर रहे हो तो इट इज ऑफ नो यूज ना. मैं देख नहीं रहा हूं अभी चैट विंडो पे. I will ask you and then you type the doubt. Okay, then another important technique is nudging. It is very, very important, nudging. I think 3 or 4 years back in economic survey this term was given, nudging. नाराज तो नहीं हो गए आप? पक्का? कहाँ के रहने वाले हो? झारखंड. झारखंड तो बहुत बड़ा है. जगह तो बताओ. धनबाद तो काफी फेमस सिटी है. धनबाद. पीपल पता नहीं क्यों बताते क्यों नहीं रहे, ऐसे बड़ा स्टेट सा बोल देते हैं. धनबाद. ओके. So basically nudging. What is nudging? You understand nudging? Nudging is very, very important. Just look at the definition. It is basically an aspect of choice architecture that alters people behavior in a predictable way without forbidding any option or significantly changing any economic incentive. So basically, this lies something where between laissez-faire and mandate. In mandate, you are mandating people that this is what you have to do. So basically, you are forcing them, literally you are forcing them that this is what you have to do. Perhaps the autocratic regimes, they will do it, that you have to have 2-child norms only. So that is what mandate is, that you are forcing people. In laissez-faire, you are actually believing in the autonomy of the people, that you decide how many children you want. Understood or not? So in between these two extremes, there is one term that is there, nudging, in which you are not giving any significant incentive. Okay, you are not giving any significant incentive. For example, you are giving some money or something like that. So it is a step behind that. Basically, you are simply changing the choice architecture, and it actually nudges you to do something. For example, when you go to supermarket, you would have gone to supermarket, this big bazaar and everything. The placement of the different item, it is done in such a manner that the thing that they want you to buy will be at your eye level. So basically, they have not incentivized you with respect to anything. They have just changed the choice architecture. That, agar bachon ko kuch incentivize, if they want to incentivize children, then at that level they will put these type of things which, allure them. So that they are incentivized by that. If they want to incentivize children, if they want to incentivize a particular adult, then for some certain item, then they will put that thing at the eye level. Understood or not? Yes. अभी मैं पूछा सुना सर eye level कहाँ से निकाला? ठीक है, of course, an average will be taken, for the customers, and then the decision will be taken. Don't go into such nitty-gritty. But basically, the placement of everything is basically choice architecture. So it is not incentivizing you in any meaningful way that if you buy item from this level, then you will get 10% off. It is not the case. But the way items are put, they are like so that they are more appealing, so that you put your hands, there first only. So that is what is called nudging. Understood or not? Let us look at this example. I think it's example from USA only. Anything written? USA only. Okay. So there they give this water score. Okay. Every household, they will give this water score in which they will tell you that how much water you have used. And this information is not just enough. So they will tell you how much water you have used, what is the average household consumption, and what efficient households are using. So basically, they are nudging you that is where you should move. Efficient households are doing that. And basically, how you can do it, that is what also they are providing. Go online and explore ways you can take action. It is easy to control your water use. So basically, they are not incentivizing anything. They are just presenting your water use, the water consumption in such a manner, which should ideally nudge you towards moving from this category to this category. Understood or not? So that is what nudging is all about. You are not creating any incentive that if you do this, then perhaps you will be giving 500 rupees. They are not creating any incentive. Neither they are mandating that you will be given only this much amount of water only. Understood or not? Understood or not? Neither they are mandating. They are simply telling you that this is what you are doing, this is what efficient people are doing, and that is how you can improve. So they are nudging you towards that. Understood or not? अरे भाई समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा? Yes, so that is what nudging is all about, So that is what it is there. Then this is another good example, very good example how emotions can be used. Another very good example how emotions can be used. So we talk about this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Yes, it was there. I think we have discussed the difference between output and outcome. Yes or not? Output and outcome, this difference we have discussed. What is output? What is output? It is physical output. Yes, basically it is the physical output that you have constructed these many toilets, you have constructed these many schools and colleges. Understood or not? So that is basically physical output that is there. So now output was there, but outcome was not there. What is the outcome? Cleanliness. Achieving the objective of the program. So the objective of building of toilet is actually to ensure cleanliness, to ensure that people are not defecating in open even when there is a toilet. So basically using the toilet will ensure outcome. Understood or not? बताओ भाई. Yes. I don't know. मतलब आप क्यों इतना क्या नहीं समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या आप लोगों को? क्या है? आ रहा है? कुछ पता नहीं चलता मुझे. मैं सही बता रहा हूँ आपको. अगर आप यहाँ से देखें, यहाँ से अगर खड़े होकर देखें ना, कुछ समझ में ऐसा लग रहा है कि apathetic बच्चों को पढ़ा रहा हूँ that I'm not able to read from their faces whether they are understanding or not understanding. अब डर लगता है मुझे कुछ भी कहने से. Okay, so मास्क आप उतार लो नीचे. तो मास्क और लगा लिया और नहीं समझ, मजाक कर रहा हूँ. हाँ करो करो करो, ठीक है. So basically outcome is that you are going to achieve the program objective. That understood or not? So to achieve outcome, at times you need to change the attitude of the people. That yes, when toilet is there, then you have to use it. You should not go into open defecation. And now the example that I am going to tell you, the great example of using emotions for the positive aspect. So they used these 3 non-rational motive. Non-rational, understood? Non-rational means not fact-based. And that is what the question was there. I think did I discuss that question, that the visionary decision making happen at the intersection of intuition and rationality? Yes, so basically rationality alone will not ensure visionary decision making. At times you may require intuition also, because rationality is not sufficient. So basically at times logics are not sufficient. You have to move people emotionally. If you tell them logically, that these many this much amount of people you are wasting and so much, so they might not be moved. So this is a great example how 3 emotions were used: the emotions of pride, disgust and love. How these emotions were used. Let us talk about disgust, something you will better understand. Okay, so in disgust, what they did, in various community outreach programs, people will go into the villages where the open defecation was, it was more there. And what they will do, they will put a fly into the glass of water. They will put a fly into the glass of water and they will pass it around and ask people if they can drink the water. That is what they will do. They will take the fly and put it into the water and they will just simply, carry that glass of water and ask people that if they will drink it. And when people will say that no, we will not drink it, but then these people will ask them, the community outreach ambassador, they will ask them, but this is what you are actually doing. If you are eating food, that is contaminated by all these flies, you are actually eating feces only. And that is what they will demonstrate through this behavior. So basically they are invoking the emotion of disgust. How many of you have seen that advertisement, in which this thing is very much, very pictorially described. The flies are there on the feces and the, all these waste, and then it is, going towards the eateries and so many things that people are eating outside only, and how it is depositing all those things there only. So that pictorial representation is actually, it should evoke the emotion of disgust in you. Understood or not? So basically that is how emotions were used to change the attitude. Then pride, an act of dignity and self-respect, because you are engaging brand ambassador. Then people are associating themselves with the brand ambassador. If, Amitabh Bachchan is doing it, Sachin Tendulkar is doing it, then we should also do it. So there was this pride in terms of, maintaining the cleanliness. And then love, the connection between toilets and women's safety, that if you really want to, if you really love the movie Toilet Ek Prem Katha, if you see that, it is very much equated that if you truly love your wife, you will ensure that toilet is functioning in your house. Understood not? Various marriages, they were broken on this premise only, that there was not toilet in the house where the bride was going. Understood or not? So basically this element of love, that if you truly respect the women in your house, because when they go outside they are more prone, safety is not there and so many things are there. So if you truly do that, truly love that, then truly love them, then this is what you will do. You will use the toilet. You will ask them not to go for open defecation and use the toilet instead. So can you see, that how emotions are being used to change the attitude? Understood or not? Understood or not? So that is the use of emotion to change the attitude, and this is what you can use in emotional intelligence. The very first quotation that I showed you, that to use the emotion, emotional intelligence is basically making emotions work for you, that you are using them very efficiently. That is what emotional intelligence is all about. Understood or not? Understood? So that is what non-rational motives are all about. These examples you can use in emotional intelligence also, that how administrators can use emotions to actually, for the good objective, if they are truly emotional intelligent. Understood? If you can remember, all of you have gone to watch movies in the theater, I'm sure. Yes, so that act, that particular ad is there, that हीरोगिरी फूं करने में नहीं, क्या करने में है, just pad use करने में, something like that. So he says that you are spending that much amount of money for this, but you cannot spend the same amount of money to buy the sanitary pads for your wife. So basically he is also invoking the emotion of love only when he's comparing that you are simply being very selfish when you are using the same amount of money for this, for smoking, but you are not loving your wife perhaps that much enough that you are caring for her in that sense, that you are providing sanitary pads to her. So all these examples are very good examples that how you can actually use emotions to change the attitude of the people. Understood or not? Yes? Then I think we talked about nudging. So here you talk about this. This is the nudging. They have put this, be different, be better, recycle, choose the right win. It is very easy. Almost 70% of the Harvard students recycle. Do you want to lag behind? So nothing. They have not mandated anything. Yes, they have not mandated anything. And they have put different kind of dustbins, and they have it is there in their hostel, the picture is there from their hostel, and they have put these two different type of dustbin, and they have given this thing that almost 70% of Harvard students are recycling. Do you want to lag behind? So at least this is what you should also do. So they are nudging you towards bifurcating your waste so that some part of your waste can be recycled properly. Be different, be better, and recycle. So can you understand? This is what choice architecture, this is what nudging is all about. You are simply nudging them that this is what you should do. Understood or not? Of course, मेरा जम्पशन है ये काम कर रहा है ना, मैं lecture देखूंगा तो again I have not gone there. Okay, so that is what we can use. So this is what nudging is all about when we are actually changing the attitude of the people. Understood or not? Yes. I will give you another example of nudging. In Switzerland, the health worker vaccination is not actually mandatory. I will make you note down everything, don't worry. So in Switzerland, health worker vaccination is not mandatory. So they have to themselves, get vaccinated, basically. So when these health worker, they are meeting people, so there are two different kind of badges were there, two badges. So badges to all the vaccinated health worker, what did it say? I am vaccinated against influenza to protect you. This is what it will, they will wear that badge. And non-vaccinated will wear that I wear a mask to protect you. So just by using these two badges, it was very much clear that who is vaccinated and who is not vaccinated. And this created a nudge towards getting vaccinated, and it went up from less than 10% to nearly 40%. Understood or not? Understood or not? So this is a great case study from Switzerland that we can use, that how this is how nudging works. Nudging is a very important topic that can be asked by UPSC. That how nudging is different than mandate or laissez-faire. This because economic survey has used this term so many times, and that is why this theme is very much important, nudging. Understood or not? So this is a great example of Switzerland where two types of these things will be, given. Then you talk about in Afghanistan, the immunity, the vaccination was not there. It was not picking it up. People were not getting their child vaccinated because they believed, in so many rumors that it will make them incapacitated or something like that. So basically, they designed this particular immunity charm bracelet, and each of these beads, it represent a different vaccine, this vaccine against measles, polio, hepatitis B, diphtheria, polio, everything. So basically, the booster dose, if it is there, then they will put more beads there. So basically, this immunity charm bracelet, it worked because, after this bracelet was circulated among the people, then there was a lot of craze among the children in terms of wearing of that bracelet, immunity charm. Because there were emotions attached to it, because it was the charm bracelet. They believed in it. Usually, when I'm wearing this, it is like that only. People wear different sort of bracelet because they believe it is protecting them for some sacred purposes. Their mother has given it to them. Understood or not? Because it brings some good fortune in your life. So this bracelet, was associated with that emotion, that it is a similar thing only, that it will bring good fortune to us only. And this particular beads will represent different sort of vaccination. So it worked really well in Afghanistan also, and immunization of the children picked up. That is what nudging is all about. That you are creating this choice architecture that you can wear this or you cannot wear this. It is up to us. But of course, it is fashionable to wear this, and children wanted to wear this, and then it actually led to more and more children getting vaccinated, because the immunity charm bracelet was associated with the emotion of the mothers protecting their child because of the bracelet. Many mothers give you the bracelet, right? The sons and daughters. Okay, so it actually worked wonder in the case of Afghanistan. Then to talk about Indonesia, the challenge was that they had to increase the consumption of iron folic acid tablet among the anemic girls. So the problem was, even if the girls were supplied with the tablets, it was very difficult to monitor whether they are actually taking it, whether they are complying with the, taking of their, tablets, So that was the problem that was there. So what they did, is very, very good example. So what they did, they made a WhatsApp group, they made a WhatsApp group in which, there are peer monitors, and girls, they were asked that they will post selfie whenever they are taking the tablets, and boys in the group will post encouraging messages. So basically, that was about a peer monitoring system that they created through the WhatsApp group, and that actually ensured compliance of taking of iron folic acid at the level of girls level, and it increased, and that is how they fought anemia. So these are the great case studies that we can use, that how the peer social group, peer influence group, all these groups are utilized, how technology can be utilized to change the attitude. Understood or not? Understood or not? So this is another example of Bengali portion plate. All these case study that I am giving you, they are one of the best practices that are there. From there I have taken it up. Okay, so the Bengali portion plate, it is there. So in Bengali, usually the Bengali diet, this case study is from Bangladesh actually. Okay, so in Bengali, usually the people are very much fond of rice only. They have lot of rice, and because of that they are only taking calories, they are not taking nutrition. Okay, so this symbolic thali was given to them, that this is what different things, that this much amount of rice, if they are taking this much amount of rice, then this much amount of dal should be there, this much amount of green vegetable should be there, so that they have complete nutrition. So they should not overtake rice, they should not overtake calorie, and they should actually take the complete nutrition. So this symbolic thali, Bengali portion plate, it was given to them to communicate the same thing, that that is what a complete nutrition is all about. Understood or not? Understood or not? Okay, similarly you talk about in Philippines, another very, very great case study. It actually asked people that how you can save. They wanted people to increase savings in their bank account. So apart from whenever they were opening the account, they also gave them this saving calendar, in which people were asked that, spend less, save more, that what is the target that they are having for them, that this much amount of money we will deposit in this fund, something like that. So that is how the target were given when this was monitored. In English there is a saying that what gets measured gets done. The saying is there, what gets measured gets done. So when you are actually measuring it, that this much amount of money you should save by the end of this week, there are more chances that you will be nudged towards, saving more, because you are having some quantifiable targets. Understood or not? So basically, these are some of the best practices with respect to how you can change the attitude. You can use them in your section answers. You can adapt them in your case study also with respect to changing of attitude, and say that this is what has worked in these many countries, and perhaps you can do similar thing at this level to do this and this. Understood or not? Yes? I will give you an example of this only. Okay, many of you feel, many of you, I think, might have feel the same thing, that that we are studying all the day, but we are not making any progress. That we are busy all the day, but still we are not making any progress, and it is happening day after day. Every day it is like that we are waking up and we are not wasting any time actually, but we are busy all the time, but there is nothing significant work that we have completed by the time we go to sleep. And usually we feel those things when we do not monitor what we are doing, when we are not actually making a plan for ourselves. Because see, let's say you have made a plan for yourself, and that in this week you will revise everything, everything in the sense, not everything, that these many chapters of Lakshmikant you will revise, for example, these many chapters of ethics you will revise, something like that. So there is some quantifiable targets that you have put for yourself, when you have planned. One important aspect is the target should be as much possible, they should be quantified, because if they are not quantified, then the specific target, if you are not having specific targets, the chances are you will not follow that plan. Okay, I will study for 8 hours. कैसे काम करेगा? 8 घंटे करोगे क्या? ये तो बताओ. So perhaps you will talk about that I will write 5 answers, I will read these many pages of Lakshmikant. So more specific targets are, more will be the chances of following them. So when you make the plan, and you give yourself quantifiable targets, so after that, after the end of the week, then you have something to account for, that now you know where your time has gone. We are supposed to study for 8 hours, but we could not study for 8 hours. We are actually studying for 4 hours only. 4 hours we were more busy thinking about the strategy we should adopt rather than actually doing the thing. Many of the people are like that only. They are more busy finding about the different strategy rather than actually implementing any of the strategy that they believe in. So that is what you will understand only when you actually monitor what you are doing, only when you are quantifying the thing. Understood or not? So that is what this saying is there. What gets measured gets done, and it is very much relevant to you also, that you also have to quantify things. You have to plan things. Of course, you will fail whatever plan you make. You will not be able to implement that, but you will definitely have a track that this is what I am doing. If you are able to achieve 70 or 80% of that, you should be fine. But if you are achieving 20%, 30% of that, you should understand that perhaps the planning is unrealistic or you are wasting a lot of time. Okay, either thing will help you in the long run. You will make more realistic plan, or you will not waste time. Either way it will help you. So you have to plan. When you plan, make your targets very, very specific. Give that some timeline. Suppose in the day I am planning, this is what I will do. Then I should give myself timeline. This is what I will do before noon. This is what I will do. Because the more specific a plan is, when we are attaching our plan with any of the time of the day, then when we are attaching any plan with respect to any time of the day, the more chances you will do it. For example, you may say, I will not have lunch till I write for 1 hour of optional. If that is the thing, then you are tying that habit with the lunch. Of course, you are having lunch on the daily basis. Then it will ensure that you are writing on a daily basis. Understood or not? So that is what, you can adopt all these great thinking, that I will not do the breakfast until I revise for, let's say, 45 minutes, whatever you have studied last day or day before day. You can make some simple habit. I will not go to sleep till I make a plan for myself what I am going to do the next day. Because this also helps a lot. Because see, बोलूं थोड़ा सा इस पे, अरे डर लगता है मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा, ये बैच थोड़ा सा अतरंगी बैच है, I'm telling you. Okay. अरे ऑनलाइन वालों से अरे बोल रहे हैं, shall I continue on this? Shall I continue on this? Okay. So there is theory that says that the willpower is limited. All of us have very definite amount of willpower every day, and more decision we make, we deplete it every time we are making it. Okay. So when you wake up, you have limited amount of willpower. Let's say it is 100. Let's say the unit is 100. Everyone has different amount of willpower, but whatever amount you have, let's say it is 100. Okay. And when you have just woken up and now you are deciding what you should read, that decision will cost you some willpower. Let's say 10 is gone, 15 is gone. Then you will decide, अच्छा ethics पढ़ना है कि current affair पढ़ना है, economy optional, what should I read? After a lot of deliberation, lot of willpower is gone, then you will decide. But then you will think, but prelims is also there. I am not qualified prelims. I should read prelims also. Then you will do so many search. Lot of time is gone. After that you decide, what should I have for breakfast? If the routine is not there, then what should I have for breakfast? Should I go outside and have poha? Should I go outside and have dosa? Whatever you do. Every decision you are making, you are depleting your willpower. And that is why, if you can just make one simple switch, that when you are sleeping, just before sleep, you plan for the next day. Because right now, your day is gone. You don't need willpower actually. Okay, so now you do all the planning so that, and you put the most difficult task for the very first thing in the morning, because A, it will require most amount of willpower, And B, if it is done, it will give you a lot of satisfaction and motivation to do the many things throughout the day. So that is why all of you should plan before you go to sleep that what you are going to do next day. And let's say you have planned that, if I wake up next day, then I will read, let's say Spectrum, these many chapters of Spectrum I will read. After that, these many chapters of ethics I will read. So basically, you will have a ready-made plan. So as soon as you wake up, you will be like smashing the target that I have these 4 things, and you can simply write it off, in front of your table, wherever you are studying, and you simply tick it off, one by one. It will give you a lot of confidence. You will be able to monitor what you are doing, where your time is actually going, and whether you are actually progressing or not. That will only happen when you are actually making quantifiable plan on a daily basis and on a weekly or 10 days or 15 days basis. Understood or not? But if you are making so many decisions every time you make decision, you are just, making yourself more prone to be distracted very easily because you don't have, lot of willpower now. Okay. And that is what, when people are tired, if you go to them, you go to your father and ask them that I need to buy this thing. And if he's very much tired and he loves you, suppose he loves you, then he will say, "Arey kharid le yaar, ja yahan se." That is what he will do because he does not want to, spend any more amount of his willpower because he does not have any at this point of time. And he will simply say, "Aur subah puchoge to, lot many questions will be there. Kyun kar rahe ho, kya kar rahe ho, na?" Now you know when is the right time to ask anything from your father. Okay. So basically, willpower, it actually, the timing and how you are spending the stock of willpower, it matters a lot. And that is why you should minimize the number of decisions you are making, till you are done with the most important task of your day. That is whatever you are doing. And then you make that decision in the latter half. I'm telling you this myself, when I prepare for these lectures and everything. So there is this routine that all of us follow. You talk about all the people, they have this sacred routine. This is what I will do, and I will not do anything apart from that when I'm in that zone. Because that is the most productive time of the day, and you would like to spend it on the most important thing. And that thing for you is study only. Understood or not? Understood? No, usually I will give you this, so since my, I think, childhood only, this is my habit that usually I speak to my relative, my family, my mother, parents after dinner only, okay, at night only. Because the habit was like that only, that after all my study have been done, everything has been done, and then perhaps before going to sleep, I will talk to them. And this has happened. In the day, I don't talk to them, I don't pick up calls, and usually I don't do that. So the habit is that whenever I want to wish anyone on their birthday, anniversary, something like that, I will wish them at night only. Because that is the habit. Because even if I know that, that someone is having birthday today, then also I will not call in the morning and wish them. Because that morning is for myself. Because that is what the routine is. Because this is what I should do. At the night, all time is there, and then I will call at the night and, and wish someone for birthday or whatever the purpose is. So I'm telling you that certain habits, if you just inculcate, it helps you, And I mean, this is what you can also do, and actually helps a lot, in terms of prioritizing what you need as of now, and this is what you should do. So willpower is very much important, and you should spend it very cautiously, and that is why you should routinize everything that is not essential for you. Routinize means that you should not make a decision on a daily basis that what you should eat. That is what routinize means. Every day, every night you are wondering, what should I order? Pizza, burger, what should I eat? If you are making that decision every day, God forbid, your mind is not into the right place. You are supposed to study. You are not here to, fulfill all your desires for great food. If you are making that decision every day, then it is wrong. Once in a while, it is fine. So that is why you should routinize everything. That if it is breakfast, keep it very simple. That these 3-4 options are there, and if maid comes to your house, then simply tell that out of these 3-4 options, you pick A, B, C, D, and you do whatever. Don't ask me. Don't ask me, because I don't want to make that decision in the morning. The options are there. This is what I like. Just make it. So routinize everything that is not academic. Routinize everything. Be it cleanliness, be it your drink, whatever, eating habits and everything, routinize everything. So that you need not make decision every time. This is what you should do. Understood? And business academics also, make a plan, try to stick to it on a 10 days, 15 days basis. On daily basis also, make more concrete plan. More specific question you ask, the more specific plan you make, better are the chances that you will follow it. One person, I will give you one story. I think 3 days back, 3-4 days back, I came from somewhere. I was not in Delhi. I was outside. I just came to this class only directly. So class was at 5:30 and I came here at 4:45 or 4:50 p.m. So I had only 30-40 minutes to prepare some notes because I needed to give you some notes also. Some formatting need to be done. So I was there and one person was sitting for me. Okay, one student was waiting for me and he told me, sir, I've been waiting for you for the entire day. And I said, sir, it's better hota aap time leke aate so that I could have spent more time with you, because now I only have 40 minutes. I need to prepare for my lecture also, adjust few things, because we did not, but still, sir, do you have 10 minutes? Man, okay, please sit. And then that person sit. And the question he asked, sir, how can I increase my ethics marks? I recently gave my mains. How can I increase my ethics marks? And I'm facing this problem in case study that I'm not able to implement, various things. So he was asking such sort of questions. And then I said that, that you should practice more. And when you practice more, you will better understand and you should study more intensively ethics. And that is how you get marks. Of course, he was not satisfied and he went home. And from the face of it, I could sense that he was not satisfied, but I did not have time to probe further that what more you need, because I was also preparing for the lecture. That was 5:30 only. So in the evening, that person messaged me that, sir, I was very much dissatisfied with the way you talked to me, and so and so forth, and all of, you have gone to Wajiram and now you don't respect students, something like that. And he was, all that message was there, and I was like, just after this class, I was reading those messages in the Telegram, and then I told him, if you want a specific answer, you need to ask a specific question. Because one person from this class only yesterday asked me, sir, ethics में तो मैं कर लूँगा, मेरा 1, 2, 3 में marks नहीं है, मुझे बताइए मैं गलतियाँ कहाँ कर रहा हूँ. अरे how would I know कि आप गलतियाँ कहाँ कर रहे हो? It will be you only who will be knowing. The better question will be, sir, these are the mistakes that I am committing. Please tell me, how can I improve them? So, if you are not doing your homework, I cannot be blamed. It is more fashionable to blame teachers always. That perhaps, sir, आपने time नहीं दिया, आपने answer नहीं दिया. अरे तुमने question पूछा, तुम्हारा question ये था marks कैसे लाऊं? Answer ही वही है, पढ़ाई करो. मैं भी तो वही बोलूँगा ना, जैसा question है वैसा ही answer आएगा. No, you have not done your homework. You have not even identified 5 mistakes that are perhaps hurting you when you are writing your answers. If you are so sincere, that is the line I wrote, if you were so sincere, then you should have come up with 5 questions, very specific 5 questions, that these are problems I am facing in my ethics, and then it will be my pleasure to talk about those 5 specific points. But I cannot discuss in general that how should I improve my case studies. Arey bhai, there are so many lectures. How can I tell you? Tell me, how can I tell you? Because from your perspective, sir, 10 minute में समझा दो ना. अरे भाई 10 मिनट में नहीं होता है. 10 मिनट में there will be more misuse than use. और फिर आप ही मुझे गाली दोगे बाद में, क्योंकि आप आधा सुनोगे. You will not even hear me fully. So this is what happened. So that student, after that he messaged me that कि आप हो गए और आपको student की आप जरूरत नहीं है फलाने. And I said, stop this bullshit, okay? Because it is very fashionable to blame teachers. It is more convenient. I cannot be blamed for your lack of homework. Did you ask any specific question to me? Any 5 specific question did you ask with that? Did you take time before coming here? You cannot blame me if you are coming just 30 minutes before my time. You cannot blame me if I am not giving you time. You should take time from me. And I think in my Telegram I told you that after class, if someone asks me that when they should meet me, I tell them after class. Because before class, I am in the zone of taking class. I'm preparing something, I'm thinking something, that this is what I need to discuss. In that is a sacred time for me. I don't want to discuss that. So if you ask me what is that time, after class only I give that time. So when I was having classes in my foundation batch, in my Telegram also I posted that please come at 5 p.m. after my class and we will discuss. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever time is there, we will discuss. But then, it is more fashionable to blame teachers, and then person posted, and, of all the lines he took, yes, sir, I am not sincere, I was waiting for you. Again, self-victimhood. People who have such attitude, they will never be successful because they will blame everyone except themselves. Of course, you did your hard work, you were waiting for me and everything, but then हार्ड वर्क सही जगह पे तो होना चाहिए ना. बैठ के कुर्सी पे बैठ करके तो कोई आईएएस नहीं बन सकता ना भाई. ऐसे तो बाजीराम के बाहर बैठ जाते लोग, लाख लोग बाहर, सब के सब बन जाते आईएएस. हार्ड वर्क करना है तो करिए ना. आप स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन लेके आइए ना कि भाई ये 5 प्रॉब्लम आ रही है सर, बताओ उस पर कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे. दैट इज, जब ऐसे बच्चे से मिलता हूं ना, आई फील वेरी ग्रेटफुल कि भाई वो होमवर्क करके उसको पता है उसकी मिस्टेक क्या है. आप चाहते हो सर होमवर्क भी आप ही कर लो, आप ही बता दो. दैट आई विल नॉट डू, बिकॉज फ्रॉम द टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, for you can be the individual, you are the only one that is there, but I've seen so many students over the years, and from the way, the type of questions that are asked, teacher can make out, that how sincere the student is. So that is what, if any question that you want me to answer beyond this class and everything, ask very specific question, that this is the problem I am facing, because that will tell you a lot about yourself, that that you have done a lot of hard work and homework on yourself, that things are not working for you. So this is what I replied to that student who asked me yesterday कि sir 1 2 3 में मैं गलती कहाँ कर रहा हूँ, मेरे नंबर improve नहीं हो रहे हैं. भाई, without having any iota of idea that what you are doing, I cannot comment on that. If I comment on that, then I will be lying only. So you need to do the homework, and then you need to tell me, sir, perhaps these are the 5-6 mistakes I am committing, and then perhaps we can discuss. This is what is needed to be done. Understood? So कहाँ से कहाँ चले गए? So basically, what gets measured gets done, and it is very, very important. So for you also it is very much important. Yes, be very specific with what you are saying, and it will be very much helpful. Understood? तो अब इसको नोट कर लीजिए. I think this is over. All type of students are there. It is not the case that all the students are. कहाँ तक नोट, रेसिप्रोसिटी तक नोट कर लिया था? नहीं, स्कार्सिटी. अच्छा, यही स्कार्सिटी भी नहीं किया ना? ये अच्छा, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ तो स्टार्टिंग से ये हो गया, ये भी हो गया. तो करिए. And then I said to this person, they come tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. with specific questions. And you are like, sir, I am going home now. जाओ भाई, फिर अब मैं घर थोड़ा आपको गया इनवाइट करने, जाओ. सो ये आप करिए इसको ना, मतलब ऐसा होता है बहुत बार. अंडरस्टूड? यही तो टॉपिक है सोशल इन्फ्लुएंस का, महिमा जी. यही परसुएशन, इसी की बात कर रहा था. महिमा, अंडरस्टूड? परसुएशन इज स्पेशल केस ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस ओनली. हाँ, बोल सकते हैं. चॉइस मार्केट डन. अच्छा, लासेफायर इज बेसिकली दैट एवरीवन हैज आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं ना. इट इज लाइक मार्केट इकोनॉमी, दैट डिमांड एंड सप्लाई फोर्सेस आर प्लेइंग. That nothing, you are doing absolutely nothing. 100% liberty is there in that sense. Done? Shubhangi, it means absolute liberty. Everyone is having a lot of liberty. Done? हाँ, कर सकते हैं सुप्रिया जी. टेस्ट ड्राइव का एग्जाम्पल प्राइमिंग में है. सर, वांट मेकिंग समथिंग डिफॉल्ट इरिटेट पीपल एंड हेंस इट वुड हैव अपोजिट इफेक्ट. इट डिपेंड्स. टीडीएस में इरिटेशन क्या है? आप लॉ टैक्स इवेड करना चाह रहे हैं, इसलिए शायद नहीं टीडीएस चाहेंगे. गवर्नमेंट तो अपना काम करेगी ना. ऑर्गन डोनेशन की जहां बात कर रहे हैं कि अगर लोग इतने इरिटेटेड हैं कि वो ऑर्गन डोनेशन के लिए मना करेंगे, तो वो एनीवे कभी भी हानि करते. तो वो अगर इरिटेट हो रहे हैं तो होने दीजिए, क्योंकि वो एनीवे हानि करते. default works for those people who prefer status quoism. तो अगर आप डेड अगेंस्ट हैं ऑर्गन डोनेशन के, तो अगर आप उसको डिफॉल्ट बना भी दोगे तो आप विड्रॉ कर लोगे, तो उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता. तो एनीवे यू आर नॉट द पीपल जिसको गवर्नमेंट टारगेट कर रही है एटीट्यूड चेंज करने के लिए. आप डोनेट करने वाले थे ही नहीं कभी भी. अंडरस्टूड? Talking about a specific doubt, today only one of the student, she messaged me, sir, in your second lecture, at 1 hour 30 minutes, you have mentioned an example that I could not hear properly. Could you repeat that example? And I had to text her that it is very difficult for me to remember timestamp wise the example that I used. Kindly give some cues, since you are playing this game, kindly give me some cues. And so be very specific when you are messaging, try to understand that. वैसे सर आपसे डर लगता है. अच्छी बात है भाई, डर लगना चाहिए. ये सब इमोशनबाजी. अब मुझे वैसे बच्चों से लगता है डर, मैं ईमानदारी से बताऊं तो. Yes, next class will be on Monday. Yes, you will have lot of time to revise. नहीं हुआ? All these good case studies are there, and you can use them in your GS2 also, to increase iron, folic acid, this immunity charm bracelet. You can use them in GS2 in case of healthcare, immunization, all those things. So that is what. चलें change करें. So this is the dark side of persuasion, that is manipulation. When you are persuading some people with lot of intention, you can actually manipulate them also. Yes, into doing something that is wrong. Understood or not? So that is what manipulation is all about. Then how do you make a difference between manipulation and persuasion? It is basically basis of intention. That what is your true intention? You talk about the fall of the attack, the famous attack. So lot of manipulation was there in their sales pitch. They were giving all such false information with respect to program benefits and everything. And that is why, and lot of mis-selling was there. People were duped and so many things. So that is why it was manipulation. Withholding the truth, if you are not telling the complete truth, that is why terms and condition applied, various coaching ads when you see those ads, you will see that the entire thing is not displayed prominently, that from which program. Now it has started because of this ruling, CPCA rulings, but usually, they should tell that from which program the toppers have come and so forth. So that is withholding the truth. And then that is coercion, that you are blackmailing them, extortion them. So basically, all these are example of manipulation only. They are very, very simple thing. Talking about these ads, I think 2 years back, when I came to Delhi, rank 5, usually just before mains, I have this revision session, 4 hour long marathon session in which I revise every important theme, in a very fast, repetitive manner, so that just before mains I have this. I think 7 days before mains or 8 days before mains. So usually I have this. So in that, various students enroll because they find it very meaningful. And, the rank 5, I'm forgetting the name, she also enrolled for that program. She paid for the program. During that time it was paid. And she paid for that program. And later when the result came out, of course, I saw the roll number. And she was from my program. And I was very happy that because she was rank 5. Any teacher will be happy. And I called her to congratulate. And then she said, thank you, sir. And then I asked, whenever I put any testimonial, any WhatsApp chat, anything, I ask very specifically from the students whether my course helped you, at that level. So I asked the same question to her, that whether the course helped you, whether the session helped you. And she told me, sir, I could not watch the session, because of paucity of time, because it was just few days before the mains. So I could not watch the session. I did not use her name in any of my testimonial. She was rank 5. And I did not have any rank after that, in that range. And I did not use her name. And that is why you would have never heard her name from my mouth. Just now I am telling you. So that is what I have maintained for myself, that only when the students find it meaningful, or when they are truly enrolled in the program. Because if you go by the CPCA ruling and everything, nothing can stop me from using the name, because she paid for the program. And how will I know whether she's lying or not lying? So the practice is that you simply publish the name. And of course, when the number is higher, it will be difficult also to call everyone. But since she was rank 5, so I called her also. But then when she said that, so I did not publish her name. So that is what I am telling you, that at times the manipulation is there with respect to result, and that is the blatant case of manipulation, that is withholding of information. Understood? Understood everyone? चलें आगे? ये note कर लीजिए. Yeah, basically if you are threatening or you are blackmailing, extortion, that is manipulation only. You are manipulating only. So that is how you differentiate actually. Yes. So basically again, persuasion is a skill. You can misuse also, you can use also, it depends upon the context. Understood or not? So persuasion is a skill. क्या हो गया भाई? समझ में आ रहा है आपको? 21 was Magzian year. 22, the same year Deepak Agarwal was there. 22 rank 5. Done? Okay, so this is the next topic that is there. Contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and world. Maybe her, I don't remember the name, because I'm not in touch with her, definitely, so I don't remember the name. But she was rank 5, that I know, and she paid for the course. Actually, it does not help. Even if I put the name and if it has not helped her, I'm telling you from the perspective of mentor, what truly matters is your honest feedback. Your honest feedback, because that only helps in the long run. Nothing beats that. Contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and world. Attitude PDF I will give. Attitude rank 6 thi kya? Everyone is giving the name only. I will tell you. I think I have. Okay, so shall we start? PDF I'm not sharing beforehand for the specific purpose. I want you to read PPT and understand them first. Okay. I think I will give you the name myself. People are giving me names now. Meanwhile, you can just take the photo of this particular table. Then we'll discuss that. Smriti Mishra, I think. She was rank 4, not 5. Smriti Mishra. Okay, so now let us talk about different school of thoughts with respect to ethics. Okay, so what is ethics? They are nothing but standards based on which we judge the rightness and wrongness of human action. Yes, whether something is right, whether something is wrong, based on that, if we judge that, then it is called ethical standard. As the name is clear, there are different school of thought, and they will judge your action or any human action based on different parameter. Just like your parents will say that this thing is right, your grandparents will say that this thing is right, you may think very differently that this thing is right. So basically the same action, everyone can evaluate from their own perspective, and then that person can decide whether this thing is right or not. Understood or not? Yes, so that is what different schools of ethics is basically talking about. So all these people are basically telling you that this is how we believe that what is the right thing to do. Understood? This is what we believe, what is the right thing to do. So I think this we have discussed duty-based ethics, that is deontology. In deontology, basically we are judging the human action based on the means or based on the action itself. And here, in the case of teleology or in the case of consequentialism, we are judging the human action based on the consequence of the human action, whether it is producing good consequences or bad consequences. I think we talked about Poonam Pandey. Yes, so in the case of Poonam Pandey, she faked her own death to spread awareness with respect to cervical cancer. Yes, so this school of thought will say that what she did was wrong because the means she adopted of lying was wrong only. Understood or not? But this school of thought will say that what she did was right because ultimately she was able to achieve the good consequence of increasing awareness, because it was not harmful, it was harmless lie, no animals were harmed. Yes, so basically it was harmless lie. So that is why the consequence was great, and that is why that action was ethical. So that is what this group of people will say. This group of people will say that forget about action and their consequences, forget about means and the end. Let us talk about the actor. Let us talk about the person itself. So instead of deciding the consequence of action or the action itself, you should simply think that what it will make you, what will be your character if you do that. Because this school of thought believes that people with virtuous character, people with good character will do the right thing. So you should do, the action is right, which will make you a virtuous person. Action is right, what will be done by a virtuous person. So here focus is on character of the individual or the actor, not on the action. Here focus is on the action. Here it is the action itself basically means, or here it is about the consequence of action or basically ends. Understood or not? Now to explain it in more detail, let me just recall the same case study of the sand mafia. Okay, in that case study, I gave you the example that a young dynamic SP, he has been posted in the district and he's taking on the sand mafia. Understood or not? So he's taking on the sand mafia, but the sand mafia is not liking it, and he has threatened the SP with the dire consequences that your family will be killed, so and so forth. Understood or not? Understood or not? Yes, so that is what, that is what the mafia has threatened the SP. Now, if that SP A, decides that he should seek transfer. If suppose that SP decide amongst various course of option that he is having, one of the action is to seek transfer or resign. Yes, so suppose he decides to seek transfer. So let us think from the perspective of virtue ethics. From this perspective, the same action of seeking transfer will make him a coward. So that is why this action is wrong, because it will make him a coward. Understood or not? From this school of thought of deontology, this action is wrong because he is not doing his duty. He is running away from his duty. He is supposed to maintain law and order. He is supposed to be not to be threatened or intimidated by the sand mafia. He is supposed to tackle them. Understood or not? As per this school of thought, this action of seeking transfer is ethically wrong because of the bad consequences it produces. So basically, when he seeks transfer, the sand mining, illegal sand mining will continue. It will only embolden the perpetrator. He will feel emboldened that, SPs are coming and going just like anything because I have threatened that person. So basically, and people will be suffering a lot. The administration will face lack of credibility that a mafia threatened a SP and SP simply ran away. So basically, the consequences are also bad. So now, are you able to understand that the same human action of seeking transfer, how differently it is judged from the perspective of virtue ethics, from the perspective of deontology, and from the perspective of consequentialism? Understood or not? Understood or not? And that is what you will also do, my dear students, when you are evaluating various options in your case study. When you are writing merits and demerits in your case study, you will be writing demerits from different school of thoughts. In this case, I have taken only 3 school of thoughts, that is virtue approach, deontology, and teleology or consequentialism. Understood or not? Have you understood or not? ऑनलाइन वालों आपको ये समझ में आया कि नहीं आया? खुशी कौन सी स्लाइड दिखानी है? This slide?
So the merits in the same case with all these 3.
मेरिट भी उसी पर्सपेक्टिव से देखते हैं. वर्च्यू बेस बेसिकली आप किस तरह के पर्सन बनते हैं. if you are doing any action, then what kind of person you will be called. So if he is seeking transfer, people will call him a coward, that he was a coward, he was not brave, he was not a courageous person. Because to become a courageous person, he need to take courageous decision. Yes, more or less same, Pragati, more or less same, not exactly same. I will discuss the. Sir, please repeat case study wali baat. Entire thing, Udit? Entire thing? How to apply? In case study, the question will be that what are the options available to you and what are its demerits. Okay. So that is the question, merits and demerits. Examine the option. So one of the option is this, that you seek transfer. That is one of the options that is available to you. So when you are writing merit and demerit, that is how you need to apply. You need to write merit and demerit from the perspective of various school of thought. I have taken in this case only 3 school of thought. There are different school of thought basically from right perspective, justice perspective, but we have not yet discussed. So that is why I have not discussed from that perspective. So only from these 3 perspectives. So these are the 3 demerits that are there of that chosen option. Okay, so merit and demerit, that is how we will decide. Understood? Udit. Udit Sharma ji, sorry. Udit Tomar bhi hain. Udit Narayan ji, yes. In Fand Mafia case, family should not be considered in any case. Divya ji, so many times I have said that I am not discussing the case study entirely. When we discuss the case study, of course, that will not be the course of action. That शादी तो दोबारा हो जाएगी, Fand Mafia को देख लेते हैं. Of course, we will be taking care of the family. The decision making is different, and that we will learn in case study only. अगर आप ऐसे हर केस को मैं ऐसे डिस्कस करूंगा पूरा तो फिर तो क्लास होली. आप समझिए ना, केस स्टडी में तो बहुत सारे एंगल होते हैं. तो अगर मैं इन 3 चीजों को डिस्कस कर, मैंने राइट तो लेके ही नहीं आया इसमें कि सिटीजन के राइट्स क्या हैं, वोटर्स के राइट्स क्या हैं, फैमिली के कोई राइट नहीं है क्या, तो मैं जस्टिस तो लेके नहीं आया कि क्या ये जस्टिस होगा लोगों के संग, तो वो भी तो है, पर मैंने सिंस आपको आई हैव नॉट डिस्कस दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव नॉट इंक्लूडेड दैट नाउ. So that is what you need to understand. When I am giving you any example, I am talking it from the very specific point of what I am discussing. Case study in its entirety we will discuss in those 8 sessions that we will have for case study. Virtue ethics is more about personal behavior and character rather than just very much. Virtue ethics is focusing more on the character of the individual, more on the person, what kind of person you are becoming. So he is becoming a coward if he is seeking transfer. Here we are focusing on the action, that is seeking transfer per se, and that is against the duty, because the duty was that he should maintain law and order and not seek refugee. Here we are judging not on the basis of what kind of person you are becoming, not on the basis of duty or not. We are simply judging on the basis of consequences, whether it is producing good consequence or not. In this case, it is producing bad consequences for himself also, because he will have bad reputation in the department, that he was not able to handle pressure. For the perspective of people also, because illegal sand mining will continue, because they will feel more motivated. So consequences are also not great. So in virtue ethics, yes, we are talking about emphasis on action, actor, and here emphasis on action. Clear? Understood everyone? मैं पढ़ाऊंगा इनको डिटेल में, अभी ऐसा नहीं खत्म हो गया. One by one I will deal with each of them. Okay, it is just a broad level. I have discussed the differences. Yes, I will add this in PDF. Okay, I will give the same screenshot in the group. Okay, so let us discuss very important philosopher, that is Immanuel Kant. Okay, and one of the most important philosopher from your perspective, because you will be quoting him time and again in your case studies and everywhere. Okay, so I will request you that you give me your full attention, because this is one of the most complex topic that is there. There are 2 ways to study this topic. अरे सर सुन लो, पेन वैन चलाना बाद में. There are 2 ways to study this topic. One way is that we truly understand what he is saying, why he is saying. I will try that. Another way is, if you are not able to understand, just remember 3 to 4 lines about him and use them in your answer. Understood? Both the things are fine, okay? Because ultimately what matters is that what you are writing in the paper. Okay? I will try to explain the things from the perspective, from his perspective, that what he is trying to do. But his concepts are a bit complex, So if you are not able to understand properly, I will try many times, but still at the end, if you are not able to understand properly, just try to remember the 3-4 things that he has discussed. Understood? Okay. So now Kant comes from deontological school of ethics. Okay. So when we are saying deontological school of ethics, we are saying we already know something about him. What is it? What is it? That he is following the means-based approach. That is what we know, that he will be judging the ethicality of human action on the basis of means. Understood? So basically he has to now tell you that how you should judge your human action. That is what deontological ethics from Kant is. That how you should judge your human action, how you should judge whether a particular mean is right or not. Everyone online पूरा ध्यान लगाइए, बहुत complex concept है. ठीक है, नहीं तो आप बार बार रिपीट करवाओगे. ठीक है, आपको समझ में आ रहा है? So he has this fundamental assumption. Let us discuss those assumptions. He says that only thing that is fundamentally and absolutely good is goodwill. That is what he says. Because everything else is conditionally good. Everything else is conditionally good. Have we discussed this thing? I will repeat it for you, that for example, we talk about health. That's a being healthy is a good thing, absolutely good thing. It is not, because if you are a muscular person, you can misuse your health with respect to extortion, for example. You can beat some people. You can misuse that. If you are having money, then money is also, is not an unconditional good. You can misuse money in terms of, money can be misused. Power, again, you can misuse. Let us talk about the virtues. Let us talk about compassion. Compassion is also not the unconditional good. It is also conditional good, because in the name of compassion, people do so many wrong things. Mothers and parents, they are blinded by the emotion for their child, because they believe that they are in great pain and they have to do something about that. And then, because their child is not clearing neat paper again and again, so they will then perhaps try to arrange paper for him. So in the name of compassion, they are doing unethical thing only. So that is also not an absolutely good. Courage, another virtue that is there. One of the cardinal virtue ethics, courage. That courage, it is also not unconditionally good. It is also conditionally good, because a thief is also a courageous person. A terrorist is also a courageous person. A suicide bomber is also a courageous person. So basically, ultimately, it is depending upon how exactly you are utilizing those things. So basically, they are not unconditional good. They are conditional good. Everything else is conditional good. So what is unconditional good? He says it is goodwill. So for a will to be called goodwill, it has to be free. There are 3 attributes of goodwill, and one of the attributes is that it is free. An individual should be able to, have the free action. He should have, goodwill mean that he should be free to do whatever he wants. He should not be under any compulsion. I think it is very much clear, because let's say if someone is there, and I put him on gunpoint, and then if I ask him to do something, then this person will not be judged that much, because of course he is acting under the threat of gun. So this person is not freely exercising his action, and that is why I cannot judge this person. Understood or not? Yes or no? So he is saying that this control, when I means Kant, when I am talking about that everyone should have free action, when I am talking about goodwill, this freedom should come not just from external forces, but also from internal constraint. And it means nature. For example, if someone is hungry, very, very hungry, then he says he is not having the free action, because he is not able to control his hunger. He has no control over his hunger. Can you control the hunger? Because it is beyond your control. Can you control thirst? So he is saying all such natural urges that are there, which you cannot control, and that is why, that action will not come under free action. So for a good will to act, it should be free from every constraint, both external as well as internal. Is that what you have understood so far? Yes. because if you are under constraint of anything, then you are not in a position to act ethically, basically, because you are acting under influence. You understand, if suppose some very, very hungry people, suppose very, very hungry person is there, suppose he steal a packet of bread, will we not take, that incident very lightly, or we will be very compassionate about that person? Because we believe that he is very, very hungry. Understood or not? So from that perspective, Kant is saying, since you cannot control nature and natural urges and desires, all these things, then if you are intoxicated by them, if you are, let's say, under control of them, then you are not having the free action. So that is the first basis, that you should not be under control of both external as well as internal sanctions. Understood or not? So that is the free condition. First condition of goodwill. Second condition is, you should act as per moral law. And you should act as per moral law, not because of the consequence of not following the moral law, but because of the respect for the moral law. For example, the moral law is that Prevention of Atrocity Act against SC/ST. Suppose that is the act. Yes, it is the law, moral law. For example, that is the moral law. So it bars us that we should not use curse words against SCs and STs, because it is against their human dignity. So he is saying that I should follow the moral law because I should respect the moral law. When I am respecting the moral law, then I am believing in the law that yes, it is absolutely wrong to use those words against SCs and STs because it is against their dignity. Understood or not? I am not following the moral law because of the consequence of not following the law. Basically, if I don't follow the law and I use the curse words, then I will be jailed. And since I want to avoid the jail, and that is why I am not using those curse words, understood or not, then this will not be respect for the moral law. It will be basically, I am being consequentialist now. Because now I am following the law based on consequences of the law rather than for the law itself, for the respect of law itself. Understood or not? The same example of traffic light I will give you. You are standing at the traffic light, and in the broad daylight, traffic constable is there. At the night, you are all alone, no traffic. Traffic light is there, but traffic inspector is not there, and you are still, standing there. If you are still standing there, you are standing there for the respect of the moral law. Not because that you are threatened by the law, that if you are not following the traffic law, you will be fined. Because there is no one to fine you, and that you know. Understood or not? So this is what he is saying, that a goodwill is A, it should be free. One should not be under any sort of constraint. B, one should be free from any external thing and internal urges. And also one should follow the moral law, for the respect of it. Now the question is, what is this moral law? Ultimately, we have decided moral law is something, that will decide what is the right thing, what is the wrong thing. That is what moral law. So suppose this moral law we have created. So Kant is saying that we should follow it for the respect of it. And we should follow it willingly, basically when we are having free action. Yes. So only one question we need to answer, that what is this moral law? If we know it, then we will solve the problem. We will know what is the right thing to do, what is the wrong thing to do. Understood or not? So now how do we decide what is the moral law? How do we decide what is the moral law? Law are nothing but imperatives. What are imperatives? What are imperatives? Imperatives, basically imperative is what you are supposed to do, what you are ought to do. Understood or not? That is imperative. For example, it is imperative on you to be silent in library. Yes, it is imperative on you to follow the law of the government. It is imperative on me to follow the regulations of Ajit and Ravi. Understood or not? Imperative are our obligations. So this moral law are nothing but obligation. So he is saying that there are two kinds of imperatives. One is conditional imperative and another is categorical imperative. So basically two kind of law is there. Remove imperative for some time. Two kind of law is there. One is conditional, another is absolute. Yes, and he is saying that a conditional law will not be a law. It will, because it will not be a rational thing. And I will give the example when he says that. So that is why the moral law that you will produce, it will be the absolute law. It will be universal law. I will come to this part later. I just need to make you understand that when he is saying what will be the character of the law, what will be the character of that imperative, will it be conditional or will it be absolute? He is saying it will be absolute. Because when we are making the moral law, it should be equally applicable to everyone, and that is why we should decide the moral law that can become a universal law. Because if we create conditionality, it will be irrational. If we create conditionality, it will be irrational. It will be illogical. And he gave this very beautiful example. No, I will discuss. Have I discussed lying? I will discuss. Okay. सब ध्यान से सुनो, because बोलोगे बाद में कि पूरा रिपीट करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा, पूरा लिखा लिखो ही सब बाद में. And he gave this very beautiful example. Usually it is said that if you have to lie to save someone's life, you should lie. Yes? So this is an example of conditional law only, that you can lie if you have to save life. Because usually the absolute law is that you should not lie. Yes? That you are supposed to tell truth. Yes, this is the absolute law, but usually the conditional law is that if you have to lie in order to save someone's life, then you can lie. Understood or not? Yes? So Kant is saying that this conditionality is illogical. It will not exist. Because let us make this law a universal law that in order to save someone's life, a person can lie. So let us assume all the world that is there is this classroom only. We are all the world that is there in the existence, and all of us have decided that in order to save someone's life, we can lie. Yes? And suppose I am the murderer. I am a murderer. I am chasing this person to kill. And this person is seeking refuge, is going here and there. And I am asking this girl, that where is he? Where is he? So what she is supposed to do? She is supposed to lie. And she will tell me that he is there when he is not there. But since I also belong to this society, and since I already know that you will be lying only, because that is what we have agreed upon, that in order to save someone's life, one has to lie, then I will not believe in you. So your lie will not be effective. It will be irrational. So the lie will not exist. The basis of lie is that every one of us should believe in truth. So that is why conditional lying cannot become the universal law, because it is rationally inconsistent. I will repeat this example for you. For example, let us make this law a universal law that if you want to save someone's life, you can lie. Suppose this is the universal law that we have made in this classroom. So each one of us know this thing, that in order to save someone's life, you can lie. It is permitted to lie. And I am a murderer. I am chasing this person because I want to murder him. And I am asking the whereabouts of this person, that where has this person gone? So whatever she is telling me, suppose she is lying, because that is what we have agreed, that she will be lying only to save this person. Understood or not? But I also know that whatever is coming off her mouth is a lie only. So I will not believe. So her purpose of lying will not be served, because she wanted to save the life of this person. And that will not be served because I will not believe in her, because I already know that she is lying. Now can you see that how inconsistent the conditional principle is? Can you see that? And that is why Kant says that the imperative or the moral law cannot be conditional. It cannot be based on emotions. For example, I should not, बहुत ध्यान से सुनिए ना, हम बहुत important चीज. For example, I am not indulging in charity because it is making me happy. I should not do it. I should not do it because it is making me happy, because my emotions are good. If I do it, my emotions are good. I should not do charity for the sake of that, because it is based on emotions, and emotions are so subjective. That is what Kant does not want. It wants objectivity, rationality, universality. And that is why he says, what if you are not feeling charitable one fine day? Then you will not do the charity when beggar come in front of you or that situation come in front of you, because you are not feeling that charitable that day. So if your charity is dependent upon your mood or your emotion, that is no charity basically. So that is what Kant is saying, that conditional imperatives are irrational, and that is why the moral law has to be imperative, has to be categorical, and that is what absolute, categorical imperative. So the moral law always act in such a way, that can become categorical imperative or a universal law. You tell me, बहुत सुनो अभी layering खत्म नहीं हुई है इसकी mixing की, ध्यान से सुनो. You tell me why he is saying that law can become universal law? Because let's say I have to decide on a law that whether it is a right thing to do or wrong thing to do to lie or not. We have understood that we have to make a absolute law only, because unconditional law are irrational, they are inconsistent. So suppose all of us have to make law. बहुत ध्यान से सुनिए, and that is a reasoning also. That is there. पहले ही माथा पकड़ लिया, समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या? ठीक है. This moral law, थोड़ा सा और पीछे हटते हैं, थोड़ा सा 2 स्टेप पीछे आते हैं. That we have to follow this moral law. Yes, this moral law, if anyone, from where this moral law should come. If it is coming from outside, let us say if it is coming from government, then are we having free action? We are not having free action. That is why we ourselves are giving this moral law. That is why the source of this moral law is ourselves only. So Kant believes that each of us, each of the human being is rational. If he is free and if he is free and he is given this freedom to make the law, he will make, if he thinks very rationally. Because as per Kant, we cannot think, because of our internal because of our internal condition or external condition. Because it will not be the free action. Understood or not? Suppose I am making the reservation policy, or whether we should have reservation policy or not, and I am deciding, whether we should have reservation or not, knowing fully well that I am upper caste or lower caste. I know my caste identity. Then it is wrong only, because it is influencing my decision. Because if it is influencing my decision that I am under influence, that action is not free. Understood or not? So that is why he is saying that when you are taking that decision, you should not be under external constraint, and also you should not be under internal constraint. So bhaiya, when there is no constraint, either external or internal, then there is absolutely no difference in what you are thinking and what I am thinking. You see from that perspective, since all of us are rational, all of us have same brain, then all of us should think alike only. All of us should come at same conclusion only, and that is why that action will become universal law. Because ultimately all of us will come at same logic only, same law only. That is the reasoning. All of you would have heard this thing many times, that why we should act as per the law that can become universal law, but I am sure you would not know the reasoning, but I guess now you should know the reasoning. He is saying that because that law will be the product of the people thinking alike, they will think alike because they are not under external influence or internal influence. Suppose I don't know whether I am a male or female. Suppose I don't know, because if I know I am a male, then perhaps my policy making will be biased towards male. So, and it will not be free action. So I need to forget that. When I am making that policy, I need to forget that I cannot be the compulsion of that I am a male, I am upper caste or lower caste. I cannot, or I am a Hindu. Because if I am under the influence of the identity, then I am not having the free action. Understood or not? So when this identity is not there, when this internal constraint is not there, any constraint, nature constraint, any constraint is not there, also any external constraint is also not there, then what is the difference that is there between you and me? No difference is there. And that is why whatever law we give it to ourselves will be categorical imperative. It will not be conditional because it is irrational. All of us, if we think rationally, will arrive at same conclusion only, and that is why this moral law, categorical imperative, we give it to ourselves, no one else give it to us. The source of categorical morality is us only, our rational thinking only, and that is why Kant believes that morality is the result of rationality. It is logical to be moral. We are not doing it because we will get some punya, हम भगवान के पास जाएंगे, स्वर्ग होगा, because there will be consequentialism. We are doing it because it is the logical thing to do, it is the rational thing to do. Understood or not? ये समझ में आया पूरा तामझाम अभी जो मैंने समझाया आपको? बताइए ऑनलाइन वालों, बताइए थोड़ा सा समझ में आया आप लोगों को? अरे जिनको नहीं आया वो हिचकिचाओ मत पूछने में, आप बताइए अगर नहीं समझ में आया, आई विल रिपीट इट फॉर यू, जस्ट टेल मी. सो मैं जल्दी जल्दी से रिपीट करता हूं ना, आपको और अच्छे समझ में आएगा, ठीक है? आई विल रिपीट इट अगेन. ओके, सो कांत इज सेइंग दैट he comes from general school of ethics, that we know that now we have to decide that how we should judge human action, how we should judge the rightness and wrongness of human action. Yes, so he is saying that only thing that is fundamentally good is goodwill, because everything else is conditionally good. Now what is the goodwill? Because when you think from the goodwill, then only you can arrive at the moral law, because everything else is conditional actually. Power, money, health, and everything we have discussed. So basically, only thing fundamentally good is goodwill. That is the absolute good thing that is there. For a will to be called goodwill, it must be free from both external constraint as well as internal constraint. This concept of internal constraint, it is very much alike the wheel of ignorance of John Rawls that we will discuss later. Okay, so basically when we are making the policy, we do not know what is our identity, because if we are acting under that identity, then we are under constraint. If suppose I am a lower caste and I am deciding whether we should have a reservation policy or not, and if I am thinking since I am lower caste I will be benefited from the reservation, then it is wrong, because then I am not free. I am biased towards myself. Understood or not? If I am deciding policy for females and I know that I am male, though I may be biased with respect to that. So what he is saying, one should be absolutely free when he is deciding that. And when he is absolutely free, then only he can think logically and rationally. He is not under any influence. So now let us look at the form of the law, moral law. What kind of moral law will be there? Will it be conditional or will it be absolute? So he is saying that it cannot be conditional, because we are talking about conditional imperative. Imperative is simply law. Imperative is basically command. That if I am telling you that it is imperative on you to work hard, so basically you are commanded to work hard. So law is commanding us to do that. So imperative you simply understand from law only. Okay, so he is saying that this law cannot be conditional, because if you make it conditional, it will be illogical. It will be internally inconsistent. So he gave this very beautiful example, that if suppose we believe that we have to lie in order to save someone's life, and if we make this a universal law, then this rule will not exist. Because for this rule to exist, the assumption should be that people are telling truth. Then only one will believe in one's lie. For me to believe that this girl is lying, whatever he is saying, for me to believe in that, I need to assume that she is telling the truth. Then only I will be deceived by her. But if I already know that she is lying to me, then why will I believe in her? So that is why this is internally inconsistent. That is why your law cannot be based on emotion, because emotions are subjective. And that is why they have to be product of rationality, reasoning. And that is why it will be a universal law. And why it will be universal law? Because when all of us are actually, acting very freely, we will think alike only. There is no real difference between you and me, because there is no difference. We are free only. And that is why all of us will arrive at a moral law that we will give to ourselves. The nature of this moral law is that only we are giving it to ourselves. No one else is giving it to ourselves. Because if any other party is giving that law to ourselves, then it is not free. Understood or not? Understood or not? So, अभी समझ में आया आपको? अब मैं पूरा करूंगा पहले, फिर आऊंगा इस पे, रुको, ठीक है? And that is why he says that always act in such a way that you would will the maximum of your act become a universal law, because if it is not there, there will be contradiction of will. That we have understood. Understood or not? Always act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your person or in the, as an end in itself, and never merely as a means. You understand this line? Using humans as a means. You understand? Suppose there is one person who is making very good notes, and you want to get those notes, and then you try to be friend with that person. So basically that friendship is the friendship of utility. You are using that person. You don't want to be friend with that person for the quality he or she is possessing, but because you want to use that person. So basically you are using that person as a means only. Understood or not? The bonded labor is an example of treating humans as a means only. Understood or not? Manual scavenging is an example of treating humans as a means only. Understood or not? Yes, all these, patriarchy, example of using female as a means only. Understood or not? Uninformed clinical trial, in which people are not really informed of the dangers in participation on the clinical trial, is an example of using, humans as a, means only, they're like guinea pigs on which you are experimenting. Understood or not? Yes or no? Yes. So that is what, so that is what he is saying, that we should never use human merely as a means but an end in themselves, because they are also equally rational and they also have dignity. Because they also have dignity, and in the end you should behave in such a fashion that you are both legislator and a legislator in the kingdom of ants. Basically, when you are making these laws, then you should behave in that fashion that you should be willing to be governed by the same law. You should be willing to be governed by the same law. For example, I will give you an example. Let us talk about reservation. So suppose that is the society that is there, that is, all the people are here, and all of us are deciding whether we should have the reservation or not. I am not going into the content of the reservation, that how we should formulate it, but a simple reservation that some disadvantaged group that are there, they should be having lower cutoff than the other people in the competitive examination. That is the definition of reservation that is there for the purpose of this discussion. Understood? So suppose we have to decide that. And I am, from the perspective of Kant, I should not know my caste. Because if I know my caste, I will be biased. I will not be having free action. Understood or not? So I don't know my caste. So suppose if all of us don't know our caste, then all of us will vote for the idea of reservation. Yes or no? It is very much logical, because we don't know how we will be born, whether we will be born as higher caste or lower caste, that we don't know. Because if we are born as lower caste, then we will be in the position that will demand that some reservation should be there, because we are not equal. Level playing field is not there. Understood or not? So that is what Kant is saying, that when you are making the law, since you are oblivious now that you don't know which caste you belong to, and that is why all of you are agreeing that yes sir, there should be some equity, equals should fight amongst equals, that should be there, and that is why reservation should be there. So once you have decided reservation, and suppose then you turn out to be person from the higher caste, then also you should follow the reservation, because you only have made that law. That is what it is saying, that always act in such a way that you are both legislator when you are making the law, and legislated. Basically you are following the law. Principle of reciprocity. Later you cannot say, no, I don't believe in reservation. No. That is the fairness that is there. That principle of reciprocity should be there. Now I will show you some pictures. Let us talk about these pictures. All these great Bhamasha, all of them are collected together, and they are all of them collectively, they are giving one single piece of banana to this poor person. So when they are indulging in charity, are they indulging in charity for the sake of charity, for the respect of charity, or for For the publicity. So they are not following the moral law for the respect of it. They are following the moral law for the consequence of it. And that is why this action is wrong. Understood or not? Understood or not? And in fact, they are using this poor human being as an means for their credibility. Understood or not? Let us talk about this. How many times we have seen this? You know, the people will litter something first and then they will clean it for the photo ops. So this particular exercise is not for the respect of cleanliness, but for the respect of, perhaps, you know, they are using again. So they are not following the moral law for the respect of it, they are following it for the other ends. So that is why both these actions are unethical. So in law, one is guilty when one actually violates the law. So when I actually use those cuss words against people of SC/ST, then I am guilty because I am violating the law and I will be punished. But in ethics, I am guilty even when I think of doing so. Because when I am thinking of doing so, that I should use the cuss word, but I am not saying that, then I am definitely not saying that because of the consequence of the law. But you know, and that is why I am wrong, because I should follow the law for the respect of it, and that is why this instance of cussing them should not, it should not have come in the first place. Understood or not? That is the statement that has come in this year's UPSC examination. Now, what are the example of this? A drug addict and someone who is suffering from depression. Now, these are the example of people not having free will. They are intoxicated and she is also not quite well. So they are not in a situation to judge things. Understood or not? Understood or not? Yes? Similarly, you talk about this. Always act in such a way that can become universal law. I will complete this part. Okay, so universal law. Always, because at times we believe in fake encounters. Yes, I think we have discussed this part. That if we glamorize fake example, always act in such a way that can become universal law. Okay? So when we are talking about universality, you talk about this fake encounter. At times we believe that the encounter is good. Yes, the encounter is good. And that is why we hope that whenever some heinous crime has happened, that perhaps the encounters will be required. Understood or not? Perhaps the encounter will be required. Yes? And if we make it a universal law, will it be rational? I think we discussed about that case of the poor boy that was killed in a school and allegation was on driver. What good will happen? I think I discussed about the filing of false dowry cases and rape cases. What will be the consequences if we truly believe in that? It will be inconsistent. So that is why this cannot become universal law. Understood or not? Understood or not? And you talk about, this is a very, very important thing from the perspective of examination, that some people believe that some form of bribery is good because it motivates people. Some form of bribery is good because it motivates people. Usually people says that because there's so much of red tapeism, lalfita is there, and delayed decision making is there, and that is why some form of bribery is good because it greases the system, it oils the system. That is what they believe, and that is why it is good. It will keep bureaucrats motivated and it will ensure efficiency. That is a proper argument that is there. The question can be that do you think a small form of corruption is good corruption, or there can be good corruption? This theme is very important. I will give you the question section A, the theme of good corruption and bad corruption. It is there. So my dear students, now can it become a universal law? Can it become a universal law? Because if we make this a universal law, that to pass a file you need to pay some amount of money, it will be what? It will be what? It will create injustice. Only those people who can pay, only their files will only move. It will create injustice. Will it lead to more efficient or less efficient administration? Less efficient, because they will not be level playing field. And for that matter, bureaucrat will deliberately sit on the files because they want money now. So that is why this also cannot become universal law. Understood or not? Understood, everyone? So universal law. So basically that is what Kant believes in, that you have to make a law, categorical imperative. Categorical imperative simply means absolute law, universal law. It is categorical, it is not conditional. Imperative means law. It is imperative on you to follow that. Understood or not? And third part is that always act in such a way that you treat humans as an end in themselves. When you are pushing someone in malleus scavenging, you are treating them as a means only, not as an end. When you are using some people as bonded labor, you are using them as a means only and not as an end in themselves. Understood or not? And that is why it is wrong, because these people are equal human beings. They are also rational. They also have dignity. And that is why if we are using them as an end in themselves, then it is wrong. Understood or not? And always act in such a way as if you are both legislator and being legislator. I gave you the example of reciprocity or reservation. That if you are making the policy of reservation, that you should have this belief that we have to follow it if it is formed. Later we cannot say no, we are upper caste. We will not follow it. Understood or not? So let me just summarize Kant for you. That Kant believe in absolute categorical imperative, that whatever law you are making, it should be universal law. Our decisions are not based on emotions because they are subjective, and since they are subjective, they cannot become universal law. They are based on objective rationality, and he believes, assumption is that everyone is rational, and when we think very freely, irrespective of the external constraint or internal constraint, then all of us will be thinking alike only, and that is why all of us will give us equal the same moral law, that is categorical imperative or the universal imperative, because if it is conditional, then there will be contradiction of will. It will not be rational, it will be inconsistent from the example that I just gave you. Understood or not? Yes? And now one important line is written here, that yes, that never merely as a means. Now, one important meaning is I am going in further detail of this topic. If you understand, don't understand, then it is fine. No. So he is saying that we should never treat human being, not merely as a means. This merely has a reference. It is important. That not merely as a means. For example, in this class, you can tell me that, sir, you are using us to earn money. You are using us as a means to earn money. And I can also tell you that all of you are using me to get marks in ethics. But this is not applicable to us, because neither I forced you to join here and neither you forced me to teach ethics. We have voluntarily agreed to come together, and in which I am teaching you and you are getting taught. And that is why it is not the example of merely as a means. We can use as a means provided, we are participating in them in voluntary labor. So yes, we can use them, but never merely as a means. And that is why informal unemployment, that is in which people are not given proper pay and everything, it is an example of using means as an end, using humans as a means. Child labor is an example of using humans merely as a means. Understood or not? Everyone understood? Yes? The reaction that you saw was because, I think I've discussed that before also, that when I'm teaching, I'm in a zone, I'm doing so many interconnection. And I'm telling you, lot of my interconnections are impromptu only, because there is nothing that is there. And if you are interrupting me, it is your loss only. Okay, so the person who asked the doubt, I've told you. Now I'm asking you, now please ask your doubt. Everyone who has not understood, please ask your doubt again, because there are so many chats that are there. I don't know from which part of I will show the slides. Treating humans as an end in themselves means that I should respect you because you also are, having dignity and rationality. Suppose if I'm lying to you, suppose I'm a salesman, I'm lying to you. I'm lying to you that please enroll into my course and I will get you 200 marks. Suppose I'm saying that. Suppose I'm a salesman, and you are coming to me and I'm telling you that you enroll into my course and it will give you 200 marks. Then I am I'm using you as a means because A, I am telling you something that is impossible, and B, I am not respecting your rationality. I am treating you like a bevkoof, that I am selling you 200 marks dream in ethics. So that is why it is wrong. This is an example of treating humans as a means. Never merely means it's okay to use human provided both the parties. हाँ, yes, never merely as a means that only. Otherwise, company तो कभी survive नहीं, customer ऐसे बोलेंगे, है ना, customer तो service ले रहे हैं, तो yes, it is never merely का मतलब वही है. Sir, if you can give example, you asked the question. I was wondering if you can tell how integrity is conditionally good. You know, very good. I would love to see your answers one day, but see. You talk about honor killing. You know, honor killing is an example of that. That how integrity is conditionally good. The people who are indulging in honor killing, you know, do they believe that what they are doing is wrong? Do they believe that? So they are following that in all circumstances. But what they are doing, is it right? Not. Can you make it a universal law? No. So that is why integrity is also conditional good. You talk about terrorist. You know, who believes that he will go to, you know, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, मतलब जन्नत, you know, when he commit the terrorist attack. Then what is that? What is that? When he's doing that, he is not believing that what he is doing is wrong. So he is being integral in that respect. That he will do it, unconditionally he will do it. But that is why integrity is also conditional good. It depends upon the moral principles you believe in. You may believe in, for that matter, wrong moral principles. And that is why conscience, you know, is not a reliable source of guidance.
Goodwill is also subjective.
Now, goodwill is not objective because it is the derivation of rationality, not emotions. Goodwill means rationality. Third point of goodwill was that you are following the moral law, and that moral law is emerging out of rationality, not emotions, and that is why it is not subjective. Is he not ignoring difference of opinion despite following all the three questions, intelligent, different? Shashank, that is a criticism, my dear friend. Okay, if I am teaching something very passionately, does not mean that I am agreeing fully with that person. You know, after that, merit and demerits will come, and that is a demerit of the Kant. That is not allowing for the diversity of opinion. Yes, Shashank, I understand that. Categorical imperative, do not respect intellectual integrity, up to ऊपर ले आइए. And any other question you want me to answer, please post it. Any other question? Moral law equal to Aham Brahmasmi, source of moral law is within us. Yes, that is what Kant believed. भाई मैं जो पढ़ा रहा हूँ, whatever I am teaching you from the perspective of Kant. That is what Kant believes. And just like philosophers, how many of you have optionals? You know, options तो होंगे ही सबके पास. You know, so all of you would be studying thinkers also. Yes. So ऐसा कोई thinker जो criticism मिली ही नहीं है कोई ऐसा thinker? So there will not be any thinker who is not criticized. So Kant कहाँ से क्या रह जाएगा? तो Kant will also be criticized. So all these are limitation of this theory. Just because I was teaching you very passionately about that topic does not mean that, you know, it is all good. There are limitation of this theory. That is different story. Yes, source of moral law is within us because as per Kant, we are giving that moral law to ourselves, and that is because of rationality. If moral law is coming from outside, then how we are having free action? Yes, that is what Kant believes. Moral law means irrespective of the person, same law will apply. Yes, because that moral law is given by every individual to himself or herself only. The moral law, source of moral law is not external because then it will not be free action. Every individual, if he thinks rationally, will come at the same conclusion. That is why that law will become universal law. Yes, emotions Kant has totally removed. He is saying it because emotions are subjective, and that is why we cannot take decision based on them. You know, because they keep on changing. Emotions he has removed. Rationality. And the same definition of rationality, no logic, no emotions. Any other doubt? Any other doubt? Online वालों, please ask. बाकी पूछिए. जिन्होंने इंटीग्रिटी पूछा था उनको समझ में आ गया. इंटीग्रिटी जिन्होंने पूछा था कि how integrity is conditional good, I was wondering, ऐसा करके जिन्होंने पूछा था. Any other doubt online? आप कोई डाउट है? हाँ जी.
वेरिएंट आयरन की जो
Rationality. हाँ. ये क्या? हाँ हाँ, वो बहुत सारे थिंकर्स हैं जो अलाइन करते हैं इस लाइन पे कि रैशनैलिटी से ही सब कुछ चलना चाहिए, लॉजिक से ही सब कुछ चलना चाहिए. PPT image I will definitely show you. How else you will make me go from here? Merely as a means, if instead of bonded labor we take underpaid labor, then it will not be mere. No, Ankit. Bonded labor is definitely an example of using humans as a means. Yes, because we are not giving anything to him. Underpaid labor is also an example of taking humans as a mean. Only when you are giving him full salary, whatever the worth of the work is, then it is not the example of merely as a means, because then you voluntarily have come together and you are getting the respectable pay for that work. Understood? Ankit, understood? No, you are not complicating. It is a very good doubt. Understood, Ankit? Any other doubt? Any other doubt? पूछो भाई, पूछो. Any other doubt? No? आई एम सॉरी, आई थिंक जिनके ऊपर मैं थोड़ा गुस्सा कर गया, बट मैं मत करा करो, बिकॉज यू मस्ट अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट इज लाइक दैट ओनली. व्हेन कुछ टॉपिक पढ़ाया जा रहा है तो आई एम लिंकिंग सो मैनी थिंग, इट विल बी योर लॉस ओनली, एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई एम एट टाइम्स आई एम नॉट एबल टू take the discussion to a higher level, because I'm constantly interrupted by doubts only. For that matter only, I've circulated the Google form. Please fill in the doubt. We will have a separate Zoom session for the doubts. I will discuss the doubts only. Okay? Child labor is definitely merely as a means, because why you are employing child labor? Because you can underpay him. A. Yes. First reason is that, because it is underpaid. Okay? How can you employ child labor and pay that person full as adult? Then you will employ adult only, na? You will never see child labor being paid as par with adult, because that does not make any sense. No, if you want to pay full only, then you will hire adult only.
Like the government allows the child being employed as.
Government is allowing the child being employed, then for certain circumstances will be allowing, like some artistic and all these things are there. Then that expression of his identity, that it is not merely as a means. He also doing it for himself also. Yes. You are I'm telling you very honestly, usually I don't discuss this merely as a means. I skip it. Usually I simply tell the people, that humans should not be used as a means and as an end. Because these type of doubts, may come. So don't overthink this. UPSC will never ask question. It is just, I told you that I have explained it. I have tried to give you reasoning, because all of you would have heard of these lines again and again, that as per maximum universal law, all these things, never humans end, means an end. And that's why I try to give you reasoning. If you are not able to still understand, then I will request you just memorize these 3-4 lines and you will do just fine. No difference will come. Using celebrity as brand ambassador means using humans as a means. No bhai, kyun? Why? कोई वर्ड निकालना पड़ेगा इसके लिए, जो आप उल्टा सोचते हैं, क्या बोलेंगे उसको? आप ज्यादा सोच रहे हैं, इतना मत सोचिए, आपको परेशानी होगी एग्जाम में. सर, दिस कैन लीड टू अपैथी. यस, इट कैन लीड टू अपैथी, बिकॉज कॉन्सिक्वेंस तो देख ही नहीं रहे हैं, इमोशन तो देख ही नहीं रहे हैं. यस भैया, इसके आगे मैं स्लाइड दिखा देता हूँ, आप परेशान. देखो, मेरिट भी है और डीमेरिट भी है, क्रिटिसिज्म भी है. देखो, ये मेरिट है और ये डीमेरिट है. ठीक है, तो ये क्रिटिसाइज होगा आगे चल के, बट आज नहीं होगा. Okay, then I think अब आप फोटो ले लीजिए. Still, if you are not able to understand, please fill the doubt form. ठीक है? I will try to take Google Zoom session very soon. Please fill the doubt form. समझ में आ गया ऑनलाइन वालों? And that is why conceptual clarity is very important. The question that came this year, in ethics and law difference that was there. If the keyword respect for the moral law you are not writing, you will not get marks, because on that theme only this question is based. Okay. I think this is the same thing that has been written. I just explained them using examples. Thank you, Shubham. Second last slide, this one. This slide you are talking about, Dinesh? तो बताओ भाई, how would I know? This one. It is not the human body that gives human being their dignity, but their rationality and their status as rational free beings and moral agents. So if I'm, manipulating you, then I'm not respecting you. I'm not respecting your rationality. If I'm telling you that you will get 200 marks in ethics, something like that, if I'm blackmailing you, then I'm not treating you with that dignity. I'm not respecting your rationality. That is what he's saying. Understood, everyone? समझ में आ गया सबको? I will try to upload Suchita, definitely. Okay, then I think the next class will be on Monday. And if you have any other doubt, please fill the Google form. I will try to have and Zoom session. And I wish all of you a very happy Diwali. Okay, and enjoy Marty. Sometimes we should enjoy. Yes, not all the time, but sometimes. Yes. Okay. Bye bye. Take care.